Alright, that's it. I've had enough of this negativity in the Star Wars community. I've had it. I've had it. I've had it with all of this shenanigans. All right, so we're gonna jump into some stuff today. We're gonna bring in some peeps. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna talk some Skeleton Crew because I got to tell you guys, it's pretty fun. I don't know about you. I'm getting all the fun tinglies. I'm getting the Peter tingle if you can latch onto that. It feels really good to dive back into a show and enjoy it this much. It's been the outcry from the Muggles. The Muggles have really enjoyed it, and I'm hearing a lot of people asking because I wear this stuff all the time. So yeah, people are always asking what's going on, and I'm digging it. So we're gonna bring in the people, and then we're gonna see if more people end up bringing more people, and then they tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and so on and so on. So as always, we got Shivi coming in, but
What up?
we got a long time friend of the community, and I don't think we've had this person on, and oh man, I can't even think. It's been so long. So we're gonna bring in a friend that hasn't graced us with her presence in, oh man, I can't say how long. So welcome to our little corner of the world. Welcome back, Lainey. What's up? What's new? What's cracking? Long time no see. You're muted. We can't hear you. This happens all the time with us. It's going to happen to somebody. It's gonna
Technical
happen to-
Can you hear
difficulty.
me now?
Hey, there you are.
I forgot that I have like a mute button on my headset,
It's
and then
okay.
there's the mute button on StreamYard. So
There are several mute buttons. Yes.
It does happen.
There's a lot of
I mean, at
opportunity
least
to
you know
boomer
it
it.
works.
There's a lot of times to boomer it here, and somebody
yeah.
always does it. So usually it's Matt or Scotty, but today it was you. So welcome.
Hello.
What's cracking? How's it been? It's been a long time.
I know.
I always
Um,
send you invites because I want you to feel welcome to join us in our madness. So
I know.
Oh yes.
So I got a job like a month after finishing school, and
that's great.
I've been there since then, and it's basically consumed all my time.
Yes. Well, Matt says Matt's still coughing from his Mario Kart experience with you last. So
Oh, there it goes. Well, it's definitely been a long time that we've seen you, though. It's good to see you and have you
know.
back.
It's so great. I
Yeah, it's
actually
been
have
a
the
while.
chance to be here.
have you
For
been
real.
have you been keeping up with the shows, even with the Muggle world pulling you away?
No.
Okay. Did you watch?
So
I mean, are you watching? Are you watching what's going on now with Skeleton Crew? Are you following it all?
I've been watching your stuff and I've been kind of listening in on it, and it seems like overall the reaction has been so far pretty positive, which is nice.
That's a fitting intro.
I actually missed it because usually his is the same as Dan's that I usually give them chimes, but I pushed the wrong button. It just fit better. So, um, that was good. What's up, dude? How's the East Coast? I see you're upgrading your wall bit by bit. Every time you're here, it's more and more.
Nice. A couple
more and
new
more art.
posters. Is that
No,
it?
just for you to want.
Womp womp. No, that was great. I was going for this one, but
Sure you
instead
were.
I grabbed the wrong button. It's all right.
I do that all the time. I understand.
I
Hey
do,
man,
I do.
boomer moments, man. It happens.
I love it. So what's the consensus? Is it is this episode good? I have my opinions, but I prefer to hear yours before mine. Anybody?
I'll go. I thought it was a trip for sure. I mean, I kind of guessed it would be an adventure episode, but it definitely wasn't the adventure episode I was expecting necessarily. Like, it kind of got a little deep for a second, it kind of got a little bit like child soldier Clone Wars-y there for a decent amount of the episode. So it was definitely interesting though, and I feel like it definitely has kept the mystery so far throughout the first half of the season, and then kind of having like the digits there at the end, or the coordinates for each of the planets, we'll call them. um it was definitely a real cool intro, or like, intro to the second half, or like, I guess, end to the first half.
Sure. Next.
Let the redhead talk. You cut it off already.
I haven't even gotten to watch the show.
Oh my
So
God! we
she's
got
gonna get
another
a breakdown with us then. So
Yep.
I try to give everybody time, but if you have a muggle job, you're just gonna get it here. So that's even better. What'd you think?
So it's a modern take on fascism in North Korea. No, it was pretty good. It's definitely a fun show, man. I'm kind of like, last two Disney Plus projects have pleasantly surprised me. Like, everybody, the word on the street about this show is going to be like, who asked for this? Who cares? Kind of same thing with Agatha all along. And so far with this one, I think I like even more than Agatha. We're getting like, we have a genuine plot here. That's a new thing for Star Wars shows. I think like it's compelling, and we're actually into it. Everybody wants to talk about it in like a positive way.
Yeah.
Even coming on here in the past, it was kind of impossible not to crap all over what we were watching. But now I'm constipated.
Well, good. I'm glad. I mean, yeah, this show is definitely, and that's the take I get is from a lot of the fandom that chooses to dislike everything because it's not up to their expectations. I didn't know we had Emmy and Oscar winning YouTubers running around with that kind of credential to beat on a project. But yeah, the consensus is, why are we watching this? This isn't Star Wars, yada, yada, yada. The usual, the same old suspects, right? It's the usual suspects. So for me, this episode really continues to, I guess, amaze and bewilder, right? Because we get to, we start on this adventure, and it's just this Lost in Space meets the Goonies of Star Wars, right? Which is really fun if you entertained the old Lost in Space, even the new Lost in Space that I think was on Netflix. And then if I think the whole planet has seen Goonies. If you haven't, I think that's I think you live under a rock.
Sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, it's exactly. It sounds like a you problem, not an us problem, right? So, but that's what started the adventure. And I feel like that's what enticed the appetite, was this for us, for us older people. It gave us that nostalgic feeling of Goonies, mixed with this adventure feeling, and then for the younger crowd, it grabbed onto, a different feel, but something still fun, right? But then we fast forward into this pirate setting, which we were all kind of chomping at the bit for, because everybody loves Hondo, everybody loves the whole Rebels pirate arcs that are entertaining, and so we get into this pirate setting, which is fun. We get a couple more characters added, but then we get to this episode, and this episode, come on. I'm not going to bend down and pick you up. Get your little butt up here. Come on. I'm not getting down there. So we get to this episode, and this episode, come on, you can do it, is full of lore, right? I mean, this episode has all the good stuff. There you go. Right? This episode has all the good stuff, right? The last episode, we got a minute of the Maz Kanata in owl form, right? And that character, yeah. I love how they're spelling everything ridiculous, number one, right? Everybody's name, if you're doing the closed caption, is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, Kim is our owl friend, and she gives us this map, right? And then we get to this planet, it looks ashy. For a second, they make it feel, right, like it's the same planet. But yeah, it's really got that feeling that I think they finally figured out how to make television shows. That's the number one thing I can say about this before we get into the down and dirty of the breakdown of the episode. It really seems like these guys have finally, after what, 5 years of trying to make television that they
I
finally figured
mean,
it out.
they started off hot. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Now that you say that, even it almost feels like it's correlated with the Bobs and which Bob was in power at what point.
Sure. I could go with, I could
What
jive with
about
that. So you think that this is more of a representation of Iger versus Chapek?
Yeah, I honestly do now that I think about it, because during Chapek, that's what we get when we got all the She-Hulk, and they were constantly giving us show after show after show. And Iger came back in. Sorry, it gets confusing when you're talking about two Bobs. But Iger came back in, and he's like, "All right, let's just stop making so many and focus on making good stuff again." And that was kind of, I feel like now we're getting back to that, like after all the strikes and everything. Now we're finally getting back to, I guess, the good content we were all watching before. I don't know, because it's not like all of it's been bad either. Like, and I don't even think any of it's necessarily been bad, but people will have their opinions.
I think the problem is what kind of like what you're pointing out is that at least prior it was more consistent, while whereas like it started to become hit or miss, and now it's kind of starting to slowly go back to that consistency again.
Well, it also seems like this story, as I mean, of course, we all know that no story in Star Wars is really an isolated story. I mean, Acolyte currently is on its own little island, but at the same time, this show sits in a space we're already living in. Number one, so
Yeah.
living in the same space as the Mandoverse, the Ahsoka stuff, living in this space gives us a lot of opportunity, but it also begs a question: is where have these planets been during this 20-year cycle of the Empire, right? During this, 25 years of, Empire Day to second Death Star explosion. High fives?
Just wanted to be like she.
High fives.
It's
I
I was
wanted,
fixing my light. Sure.
where have these planets been in that 25 years? And it seems like based on what we see in this episode, that at Adden is a real hidden gem, right? Even hidden from its own people now, right? So the question bears: is it?
Is it though? Like, I still beg the question how much the people know about the government and system that's going on, because obviously the kids don't, because they're kids also. But it seems like the parents are like, like, go get the kids, and they don't realize like people aren't allowed to leave and go from the planet. Like, I don't know. It's definitely a weird place. I'll tell you
Well, they
that.
they definitely know that it's illegal to travel off world, right? The parents understand the severity of what has transpired while they're getting debriefed by the droids, right?
It's illegal.
But in this episode, I mean, they really um and it starts just from Jump Street, right? So from the very first frame, we sit in this space, and this is the barrier, right? That's what these little satellites are. These little satellites are actually the barrier, right? So if we, just
I was
fast
wondering
forward,
about that. Did we see that in the new episode?
that's what these are, right? If you look at these satellites, the old barrier wasn't below the atmosphere. You see them kind of break through the atmosphere or through the barrier after the atmosphere when they take off in the ship in episode 1, right? It's not That's why they can see the clouds, but they can't see the stars, right? So, and when they can see, they see the grid and maybe the dots, but the dots are actually the satellites. That's what they're actually seeing from their planet when they're like, because they get out of the atmosphere and they're like, oh my God, are those all stars? It's because they think that the satellites are stars because they don't know what the barrier is, right?
That's cooking over here in chat.
Let's see. Now
He's
he's
got
got a theory about those satellites. Well, when you get
got
off of
my
work, if
thoughts.
we're still here, you can jump on in and tell us, or you can put it in the here. Let me see if you're chit chatting in the Discord.
Yeah, who works? What are you doing?
Yeah, right. Yes, Vane was the yes. So like I said, they're in the Mandoverse time because we know Vane is here and he's not with Gorian Shaw. Is that his name? Did I get that right for a change?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's dead.
So Vane is at this pirate because he flew there in his ship after Gorian's, demise. So, let's see. Matt, I have to rewatch that episode. Yeah. So they, if I'm not mistaken, now we can go back and look, but I'm pretty sure the barrier was after the atmosphere because they talked about being able to see the clouds. But these satellites create the barrier. So immediately we get into this episode and they're flying right through what should have been either resistance or an alarm that triggers to have maybe the ship shut down. Now, here's an interesting theory that we were talking about earlier. I think was it you and I that we were talking about this earlier?
Maybe.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Start it and I'll tell you if I remember.
Okay. So we get here to they're flying in, right? And okay, they have their, their childish moment of, no adults on the ship, on the bridge, yada, yada, yada. So we fly in and immediately the kids are like, right there, those are the houses. So immediately it seems like all of these planets are cookie cutter, right? All of these planets are exactly the same, right?
I'll say at first glance when I saw this, I definitely thought it was the same planet. And I'm like, oh, so they are back in just like literally episode 4. And then when they landed and it was still super foggy, I was like, I don't know about that.
Well, see, and immediately they want you to think, did the droids outright destroy this? Like when you fly in, you think, just like the kids, we're home, hooray, right? But then as you fly in, you see the smoke, and then he's like, man, it tastes like ash. And so right there, I was like, oh, did the droids, like all the people that were involved in this, like to
That's
keep
what I thought
population
too.
control, right? That 1984 feel to it by keeping population in control. And so immediately that's where my head went, was like, oh, they nuked this whole area they killed thousands of people to shut 3 families up, right? Because now the earth has been disrupted and people have seen the ship take off. So Matt doesn't think those were for the barrier. I think those satellites were part of Operation Cinder, which would have been fired at the planet. Okay. So you think Palpatine sent these satellites to nuke? Okay. Why did my counter to that argument, real quick, is why didn't he just do that on Mandalore instead of sending bombers and Night of a Thousand
I mean, he
Tears?
did a lot of that whole thing with Operation Cinder. He tried to destroy a lot of the planets in the galaxy. So.
Exactly, Stanley's. Whoever created these planets bulk ordered from IKEA, cookie cutter homes, cookie cutter planets. So we're flying in, and we get to this point where it feels like the robots have nuked the planet, right? He even says, "What's that?
Where are the robots?"
No, that's what it feels like, though. Like when they got off, I had the impression that something bad had happened to their planet, right? Like the robots, the droids that were controlling everybody had done something because it seemed like they landed in their neighborhood, right? You see a little bit of devastation, a lot of overgrowth. And then, of course, kids being kids, see ya. Kids being kids, they just take off. They're like, I'm going home. And everybody starts running home, right? They tell the pirate robot to keep dipshit on the ship. And then they break into a house and they figure out this isn't their place. It's been pretty rifled through. No big deal. But then this doofus starts rummaging through. Now, this is something I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, so I felt like that was actually an important part of this episode.
Really important, right? Okay, so we get to this point where, let's see, 20. Okay, yeah, 30. There we go. So let's go to 34. Okay. So then this dipshit starts rummaging through the kid's stuff, right? He's just doing what pirates do, can't help himself. And we get to this thing. Now, I have an ongoing theory, and this is what the thumbie's about. This kind of leads to where the thumbie is. I have a belief that the elephant species that Neel and his family are part of the creation of all of these worlds, right? And so this little gadget, that song, has something to do with this whole thing, right? Or that jingle, or that because they were playing it in his house for the kids, right? There was this little hollow thing of like a circus, right? And so to me, and we're going to play it, and I'm going to play it with sound and make sure to see if the sound comes up. Right, that little circus theme, there's something really, really special about that, because that's the second time they've played that in the series so far, right? And the sound, they didn't have to add those little details. There's something up with these elephant people, right?
Wasn't that the Circus Soleil thing they were watching in the coffee
Yeah,
table?
yeah. The kids were
They
watching.
can't just be elephant people.
I don't know what their species are, so I'm just calling them elephant people. I'm sorry.
But
So-
I will
sorry,
say it
I'm
was
sa-
really funny when the leader of the like kid group like grabbed him by the nose or like stroked his trunk or whatever the heck he did.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't get there too. Don't beat us there. Matt Cave says, so my overall theory is these were experiments on how to have a completely controlled, obedient society in which each experiment failed, it was wiped out, and the next took its place. So you think these are successive experiments? Okay. So then our buddy Jude Law finds their credits, right? Of course, because he's a real piece of crap.
Arr.
And he finds the credits, and he bites them, because all pirates bite their metal to see if it's really gold. And it's really gold, and he's happy. And then our robot friend decides, because I think the little dude in his brain is completely sentient, because every time somebody mentions Adin, he's like, takes a minute, has an old freak out moment, and then I don't know nothing about Adin, right? And then every now and again he'll pop out when they say something important. So I don't know if that little dude's in there actually controlling things.
It's the captain.
It's the captain, right? That's awesome. That's some real Ratatouille shit going on right there, bro. That's some Remy. That's some Remy up in that brain.
Yeah.
So
He's always got the captain on his mind,
Okay. Yeah. So, but then we get this moment where he has a recollection, right, and starts talking about Adin, and so it's obvious that everybody's like, oh, he's been lying. No, he hasn't been lying. He's been programmed, right? Because droids are programmed. So
sorry, I could been playing tricks on me memory circuits.
Right. So was that he talking about the little dude in his head playing tricks on his memory circuits? That's was what I was questioning. So I didn't get a chance to pull up the closed captioning yet. So I was going to do that here because I want to see what he says.
It's George.
Chair is squeaking. It's trying to be crazy.
George.
Your chair squeaking?
At Akron.
Okay, so this planet, I guess, is playing tricks on his brain.
Yeah, because he's been there before, and he had his memory erased. So he's trying, the memory of being there is still there, but the memory of why is it's playing tricks on him.
Sorry, that couldn't be playing tricks on me memory circuits.
Okay, so that's kind of what I wanted to know. And then they talk about at Adin, and then he does the same thing. I can't talk about at Adin, but then
Who's
here's
Grogu?
who's Grogu?
What the hell? Sorry.
Let's see. Yeah. I hope they make lots of toys
They
of
should.
Neel. Okay,
Where
so
did you come from, Grogu?
he does say that this planet reminds him of at Adin. So, that kind of gives us that
Well,
idea that this is a cook.
He doesn't finish it, but
But this is what I'm saying. See, every time that happens, that little squeaker comes out, and he's like, "Hold the phone, shush!
can't be talking about that.
You can't be saying at Adin." And then
Can't say I remember.
and then he has like a moment of like,
Can't say I remember no.
right, like look, even his head is even smoking right here, right? Like his head starts smoking. Is the little guy in there chomping on a wire every time he hears the word
Maybe
at
you're
Adin?
onto something.
Does the rat have a credit?
Right?
Just saying.
So,
Well, that the rat on the left has a credit.
right. All right. So the kids go forward. This is where things kind of take a turn, and this is kind of where this whole theory of mine comes into play. Come on, show me King No
King
Head.
No Head.
Yeah, King No Head. Come on, show me King No Head. There he is.
Yeah. King
Oh, back up, John. Okay, so King No Head. This is what I want to talk about for a minute. King No Head. Okay, so our friend King No Head here has, if you'll notice, he has these.
They're gonna say he has no head. Like, oh,
Well, he has no. He has no head.
You'll notice.
But if you look at his hand, he's got the same hands and
Is
digits
he missing a
as
finger too?
Elephant Boy. The
No, he
elephant,
does. For real?
it's got 4 digits, just like
oh
Neel.
my goodness.
I think the elephant people. That's what I'm saying. I think the elephant species has more to do with this. And if you watch, as they're walking through here in a minute, all of the townspeople like double take at Neel when he walks by. It's fucking crazy, dude. Look, I'm gonna
Yeah,
give you.
and then even
look,
the
so
girl
look,
is
he's
like
got, like-
super into him.
He's got like 3 fingers and a thumb, right?
I
Okay,
just said
watch.
game.
Watch this.
Well, he does have game, but
Watch this. There's Neel's mitt.
he's got 4.
3 fingers and a thumb,
He's a Ninja Turtle.
right?
Yeah,
The
he's a
hand-
little. Yoda only has 2 and a thumb. So
Well, that depends on what movie you're watching. But look at the hand.
really,
Yeah, if you look at episode 4 and then you look at episode 5, he's got a different number of digits. Or episode 5 and 6, he's got a
I'm gonna
different
say
number
he's
of
not
digits.
in episode 4. What you
It's
talking about?
it's 4, it's 5 and 6. He's got a different number of digits,
Mm.
or it may not be now, but in
Living
the
on
original,
Dagobah gave me extra
But,
finger. It did.
I mean, that's the thing that got me is like, is this Neel's? Like, are these descendants of Neel? Right? He's got the same thumb with 3 little digits, right? So that had me thinking, what is going up with like the elephant? There's only we've only seen his species, on this planet so far, and they're one little family, and his mom has a real important office in right next to the school, right? And we don't know what his dad does.
I mean, to be
But-
fair, we've seen the human species on every planet too.
Right. I mean, the humanoids, they're everywhere, right? Right. And they're all over the murals in the first episode around the house. And yes. So Neel,
Only 3? He's like a 6-piece at least, fam.
right.
Come on.
Oh yeah, he's at least a 6-piece, right? Maybe a 20, right?
To be honest, you don't
So-
got that little tunk on you and not be a 20-piece. Let's be honest.
So this is something else I wanted to discuss. Is this kind of caught me off guard? This is a separatist tank, isn't it?
Yeah, they're wearing Imperial helmets too.
Yes.
They have a lot of. I love that they had repurposed stuff throughout the planet.
Interesting.
Right. So this stuff could have been brought here, right? These could be off-worlders potentially. We don't know why the war is
It's
there.
possible that they were just left over from both the Clone War and the Imperial War.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But if this planet was built like at Aden and it was peaceful, right? After the fall of this planet, after the barrier's gone, could this be outsiders that came in, or could these be the people that took out this planet's defenses, right? Or did this happen from within? Because the school has, which we'll see soon, also has defenses that were built in. Are these also on at Aden? So is there a secret like war chest of old Imperial or old separatist weaponry on at Aden, and the people are just completely oblivious to what's they're standing on, right? It's a real mind fuck going on here, right? There's a lot of tomfuckery going on here.
So I kind of had it in my head that these tribes there are just like remnants of the original society, just in decay. So maybe people have come and gone, and then not to get
I don't
too
know.
ahead,
They just having that separatist tank was a real like, well, what the hell is that doing there? Right? So this tells me that this could have been during, obviously it's during the Republic.
Is it
we
a
know
separatist tank? It looks similar. I mean,
it looks.
I guess we've never really seen one in live action, so.
Well, that's my point. Is we've never seen them in live action, but it looks really similar.
Yeah, it does.
To a separatist tank.
Yeah.
I mean, really close.
I'm just saying, Aden looks like the only one that hasn't been discovered. Like all the other ones they found.
Well, and we're going to get to that here shortly also.
Yeah.
So anyway, we find out there's a civil war going on this planet for whatever reason. They stole from us. I stole from them. Everybody stole from everybody. And then we find out that they live, again, in a cookie cutter school to their school, right? That we see in the first episode. So literally this whole planet is like 100% cookie
it's
cutter
weird
of each other.
If it's the same, it's so weird.
It's super weird. And
they say it's a school. They don't say it's our school.
No. He does say, we'll get to that, but Neel does say that. He does say that his mom works in the building right next door to their school, on their at Aden.
Okay.
Yeah, he goes into it, dude. So anyway, they find out there's an army and there's a leader and they have to bend the knee, and then talking about how the children of this world fight, more than the adults do, it seems like. And kind of like some kid labor shit. This seems like some like, fascist army crazy shit, you know what I mean? So anyway, we find out they want to this is the stuff I'm talking about.
Children and my daughter.
They look at Neel.
The planet at N.
They look at Neel all the time. Everybody like gets in Neel's face.
I mean, he is an elephant person, and we've never really seen that in Star Wars before. So it's probably just rare in general, but maybe.
Okay. So then we're back to these two potato heads, right? And we get here, and Jord is trying to persuade, because he finds out that he does know more about At-Aten than he's talking about, right? He figures that he's been here before. He knows about At-Aten. So he's trying to get the juice out of him. You tell me about the tower. Tell me about the jewels. Tell me about the treasure. Where is it? And eventually we, he gets to this point, and I didn't catch it the first watch. I caught it the second watch. He's like, yeah, I remember warriors like these. And you're like, there's no warriors, bro. And even Jord's like, no, not warriors, treasure. And then the fog clears, and I know, right? And the warriors were right there, right? They were just in the clearing. And when the fog clears, you can see them. So that kind of told me already that
right there,
he's like, yes, before you were kind of like, oh, had he been here before? Or is his brain just playing tricks on him? Then you see this scene and you're, oh, he has been here. He's done this exact thing. Landed, encountered these potato heads, went to the tower, right? So he's done this mission. He's already flown to this planet in Star Wars Outlaws. He's already done this mission. He knows how it goes down. So he's like, okay, here's the mission plan, right?
He did it before they took out the security drops where it restarts you every time you get caught.
Yes, yes, and now it does. Now you can play through the whole mission with your keeping your success. Apparently, from the new update, it's no longer hardcore mode. So-
Yeah, no.
We find out, they start training with the other kid army, and we find out that our little friend is kind of a peaceful guy, right? I mean, look at him, right? He doesn't scream. Come on. He doesn't scream.
As peaceful as Boots.
Yes, he doesn't.
I knew it.
He doesn't seem as peaceful as
Just a con.
his real name is George Lucas. I wish your real name was George Lucas. Hey, can I have my light, please?
Salty old.
No,
bastard.
no. You're not
Oh,
allowed.
see, here. I'll make you feel better, Mafia. Here.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Hello there.
Just gonna let
Oh.
myself in if that's
I'll
okay.
this
make
guy
you feel
definitely
better.
doesn't know.
There you go. Yeah, you feel better. The thing is, he's got access. He can put himself in whenever he wants. He's got co-host access, so he's got all the control.
Wait till I figure out clips I want to add.
He's him.
Yeah, he's got.
You can stroke the elephant trunk whenever he wants.
He can,
Okay,
yeah,
so
he,
in
what?
5
He can
minutes,
do all that
recap
stuff.
everything I missed and go.
Okay, so you missed the first half, but that's okay because we haven't gotten to the juicy bits yet.
I got a
you
juicy
did,
theory too. So
you did miss my theory that the elephant, the headless statue, is actually of the elephant people.
All right. Kick me in the back room.
thumbnail with the
He's got the thing, yeah, but he's
I
got
see
the
what you're doing
same
there.
Come on, Boots. Come on, man. Come on, man.
classic.
Blame Boots.
Come on, man. Look,
And it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it.
I did it. It was me. I'm sorry.
Got him.
Got him. Okay, so elephant people. The statue had the same mitt as Neel's family, or as Neel does. So I think that statue was of a giant elephant people.
Okay.
That's the ongoing that we're working with. All right. So Mafia said he'll be right back. We'll reintroduce him when he comes back with a much nicer sound.
Hi everybody. By the way,
Hello there.
long time no see.
So we see here that Neel's not about the fighting. He doesn't want to pick up a blaster and even train with it. He's just not doing it. So his new friend takes him upstairs where they talk about this, that they live on top of the school, right? And how, Neel starts telling him, look, this planet's way different than mine. And you gonna screw me up again?
And they got a big old gun on top of it.
Well, that's what we're getting to. So Neel gets his rations for the day, gives them up to a couple kids because he's like the nicest creature in the galaxy. And then she shows us the big gun. And my thing is, if Aden is a cookie cutter of all the other planets, is there a giant gun on top of their school that they just don't know about?
Gotta be.
Right?
Like this is all knowledge that they're gonna have if they do find their
right.
planet
When they go home, they're gonna be like, time out! Time out! Flag on the play. We need to go to the supervisor's tower right now to talk about this shit, right? So my question is, does Aden have a war chest of weapons in case somebody comes to their planet, like the pirates? Did our ship get shot down by something like an ion cannon? Right? Instead of us thinking it crash landed or it
True.
landed as the crew got off, is what really happened is this thing an ion cannon, and did an ion cannon shoot it down, and that's why it crashed, and everybody in it. I mean, I think everybody in it
because it's
was
forbidden to fly in and out of the atmosphere.
right.
they said.
Exactly. Right. So it seems like it would more shoot things that are coming in rather than going out. Right. Because the ship went out and we didn't see a blast come at them. But maybe if you're coming in is like a defense system, right? It's not so much going to shoot something that's taking off from the planet as much as something that's coming in, right? But yes, and that's what I believe, Stanley. I think a big gun like this, because of where the ship crash landed and the proximity to these kids' house and the school, it would be feasible that the same cannon shot down Shmi's ship, right? SM-33's ship. So what's that?
You're calling him Shmi?
Yeah, that's what SM-33, Shmi.
Bro,
Oh,
it
no.
100% is a reference to that. You
It
you have
100%.
to.
He's the first mate of a ship. His name is Smee. Smee? Smee.
Yes, dude.
No, okay, but you said Shmi. Shmi is
Oh,
Oh,
well,
I-
the mom
meant,
of Anakin.
I meant
I'm
Smee.
like, no, I know, but I'm like, whoa,
Sorry,
we're calling
sorry,
him
my
Anakin's mom? Like, what's going on here?
Sorry, my lisp got in the way. It's Smee, not Smee. Sorry, my lisp came out. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's okay.
Sorry. You've heard my lisp. You know what it's really like off air. Sorry, I was trying to control it. So Smee is the first mate, and it seems like the ship got more likely gunned down than landed, right? Because the pirate has the pirate that we see has a knife through him, right? So did they kill each other as they're getting shot down? I told you we shouldn't have come here. You son of a bitch! I'm gonna kill you. And then the other one killed. Then Smee killed the other guy because he killed the captain. I don't. Hopefully we get a back to flashback, but robot edition, right? To see what happened there. So we get the big gun. The whole time on this planet, Neel is preaching a peace, right? And that's what continues to make me think that the reason that Adden is still flourishing in its weird existence is because Neel's family is keeping the peace, right? For some reason, he seems to. Oh, right here. On my planet, that's where my mom's job is, right? And he's pointing here at this building, right? So this is their school.
That's where they count the money.
Right. And this is where his mom works. So it's an identical cookie cutter. This would be where their school is. And his mom works right there. Right? So that's what continues to tell me these planets are eerie. 100%. It seems like even to the hills and stuff, right? Everything seems 100% by grand design. Right? It's crazy and it's creepy and I want to know who did it because it's awesome.
Who done it?
So we get that, right? It's a peaceful place. They play a game called slap ball. I thought that was kind of a weird thing because he's like, yeah, we slap it around. And I'm like, whoa, time out. Let's keep it PG here. They talk about their fight and their struggles and yada, yada, yada. And again, Neel is just trying to keep everybody from, going to war. So these bunch of dipshits are firing big cannons and having fun. And they're told they're going to go to battle and that they're going to lead the battle. Kids, which I think is hilarious. You're going to lead the battle. We're going to let you get shot first, which I love because, let's use them as fodder, cannon fodder.
Even then, the daughter's like, I'm going to go with them. The dad's like, hell no.
Yeah, he's like, no. He's like, you're the second wave. Chill out. They're going to get got, right? But he lets her go anyway. And, Neel's terrified and he's got to be crapping his pants. And then we get to the big thing. The big reveal is that it's Jord on the other side of the conflict, and
it's John.
Jord, Jude,
whatever.
Doesn't matter.
Jude Law.
He's had like 3 names in this show already, hasn't he?
It's Jod and then Jack, or like
Jod and Jack.
Crimson
and
Jack, Captain Jack.
What was the first name?
Captain Jack Silver.
No. They had the. I thought the first name was something.
Jod Nanaput or whatever.
No, didn't the pirates call him something when he had a mask on, or did they just call him
Captain Jack Silver?
Captain Silver, right? Yeah. So he's had 3 names in this show. I'm gonna call him
Crimson Jack Silver.
I'm gonna call him Jude Law. Okay. So Jude Law, Jedi Jude Law comes out of the smoke, and they barter a deal for. Apparently, they traded kids for some farm animals. That's always great.
Okay, that's where I want to highlight real quick. First of all, we can't trust a damn thing Jod says. Like, he's a cool character, and I like Jude Law, but he's a dang liar. So, I mean, him saying that he traded the credits and potentially, for the for the animals or whatever the case was, I feel like that's a huge
Are you
lie.
saying that he slaughtered them like animals?
No.
The women and the
The
children
women
too?
and the children.
He doesn't like sand either, but that's
Can I
besides
also
the
say
point.
that this fool doesn't have the force? Why not use the force against the droid and run over, so dramatically dive and hit the off switch and try to hit it with a blaster that doesn't work?
Well, I thought that too. I was like, why doesn't he just, click the force? But
He's a fraud. I think
You
the
think-
kids were right. I think they named off like 3, 4, 5 theories, string theory, whatever. I think they got him somehow. I don't know how he did it and escaped without the force.
I
don't
think
know how
he's
he
just
did- I
an untrained
yeah,
Padawan that
I think he's an
survived.
untrained
He should have
bozo.
just swatted that droid. I'm just saying.
I agree, but maybe he doesn't know how to do that. Maybe he only knows how to do a couple tricks, right? Like the thing down, like the Obi-Wan down the
Moving things with his
hallway.
mind.
Yeah,
My dude
like-
was probably a Padawan at the time of Order 66, which was like 25,
like that
26
theory.
years ago. And probably didn't know a lot, let alone the fact hasn't been really practicing using the Force over the past 26 years. So
I'm
his
gonna
use
s-
is very limited.
I'm gonna say
I
he
do
is
like that theory.
one of the. I'm gonna say he's probably one of the undiscovered. Right. So like, if you figure he's probably. I want to say he's younger than Ahsoka, because Ahsoka's
Looks
in
like
her
he could
in her
be.
mid 40s, right?
Yeah, but she was also like 16 at the time.
Right.
18 at the oldest. I think 16.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's got.
He could be like a Kanan Jarrus age. We've been comparing.
Maybe even younger. You know what I mean?
I
like,
was thinking like Ezra's age. I was
Well, because
thinking,
when the Bad Batch find Kanan, he's real young, right? He's like 11, 12 out there by
he's
himself.
like, yeah, he's like 10.
for sure, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
You think he could have been
Jode
younger?
was like 8 or 9, maybe even
Yep.
7.
That's what
And
I'm
then
saying.
just nobody finds him and trains him anymore. He just kind of knows.
Well,
what he
yeah,
knows.
and he doesn't practice using the Force for 26 years. By the time he's 35, 36, whatever age his character is, like,
Or he's just using it to get by, moving things.
Yeah,
Well,
when
that's
he
what I mean. I
needs
don't.
to.
Yeah, I don't
Mhm.
think. That's why I think. I don't think
trying
he
to
was at the
hide.
temple.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think he was at the temple. I think he was maybe a Force user that maybe didn't have a super high metachlorine count, but as a kid would just be able to do things, and an undiscovered Force user that just got better through practice.
Left behind.
I
not
didn't even
chosen.
think about this yet, but if what we're talking about is true, and he was a Padawan or like a youngling potentially during the Clone Wars, he probably feels some type of way about the child soldiers here too.
He might.
Hmm.
He might. But it just feels like, to me, it feels like he's probably more of the undiscovered, right? Like no one discovered his Force ability and he just used it. Kind of like Ezra, right? He reminds me a lot of what Ezra would have been
Fair.
without Kanan, right? Because without Kanan, Ezra was just a street rat that would have started using his abilities to fool the Empire.
Yeah, he
into
messed
getting
around
what
with
he wanted.
pirates at one point too.
That's
so.
what, yeah. And he would have, and he even says he would have ended up a pirate with the Force, right? With Hondo. He even says it in the series at one time. At one time, I would have joined Hondo's crew, right?
Yeah.
And that would have been my life if I hadn't met you. That's what Jack is, right? Jack is Ezra if he had not met Kanan, right? A pirate that just uses his abilities to his advantage, right? And so I think in this moment, yeah, I think he just sees the kids as a way to get what he wants. I don't think he really cares about them. I think he just really thanks for stopping by, Brogu. Best name of the night so far.
Hell
Have a
yeah.
good night. Get your rest. Hope you enjoyed the show. Yeah, I just think that he sees these kids as a way to get what he wants. Without them, he doesn't get to At-Adin. And without At-Adin, the price on his head doesn't go away, right? Because he knows now he's got a bounty on his head. So in order to get that bounty off his head, he has to bring his pirate buddies some booty. Some booty! Arr! Some booty! Right? So I think that's it. I think they're more of a
There's
means
a
to
pirate on our team.
There's more. We get to the supervisor tower. And again, they go back to this same conversation of how it looks just like, and they
Home.
explain to him, we don't know what it is. right? We have no idea what it is. We're not allowed up there. That's the supervisor's tower. And so this girl talks about, maybe when she's in charge, one day her clan will be like him and be a little more peaceful. But then here's where things get spicy.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where it gets super dirty, right? And this is where I advise
Talking about the
everybody.
smooch or
I advise.
You skipped the smooch.
yeah, I know. I'm kidding.
Jeez.
Oh, okay, we'll go back to the smooch.
I was kidding.
No, we're gonna get dirty. We're gonna get dirty.
The way the wind hits his comb over, bro, you just can feel his
It's
pain.
just great. He's like, damn, I think I just fell in love.
Great white buffalo.
Tatanka.
The one that got away, man.
Oh,
Come on, man.
I'm trying here. I'm trying.
Jod, such a chunk block. Am I right?
Yeah, right, bro. Just like, can I get a minute? Can I get a second with the hyena, please? Come on, little man. Can I get a second?
She gonna do it.
Yeah. When you're leader one day, shut up. Let's get to the smooch.
Let's say go 20.
Content, guys. They reversed the whole kindness for weakness line too.
Yeah, I
They kinda
noticed
flipped
that.
shit on its head, and I was
I
like,
Well,
noticed
because
that
she's
too.
That doesn't really make
she's
sense if you say it
backwards
in
too.
reverse.
She only knows war, so of course
Yeah.
it's gonna be a little back ass words.
Well, and
for
that's
her.
just it. Like,
it's so funny.
like your weakness makes you kind, not your kindness makes you weak. Which kindness doesn't make you weak. So I kind of like what she says. Like your
Yeah.
weakness makes you kind. Like your shyness, your inability to hurt people.
I'm like,
that-
that's a compliment. I
That
think.
yeah, it was almost like it was almost like these people just read The Secret and that was like a neg, and they're like, your weakness makes you kind, yeah,
Why
and then
use
she-
lot word when if you do trick?
right? And then he's like, well, I'm sorry that I'm kind. This is just how my elephant face was built, right?
It be who I am.
I just Shiyoda. Who's Shiyoda? I thought Shiyoda was Yaddle. What are we talking about? What are we talking about here? That's Yaddle. That's not
No, her
Shi-
backwards speech.
Oh,
is what he's talking about.
Okay, so maybe
The way
Yoda
she's
said,
talking.
yeah, he's trunk blocking like crazy. Fucking George.
Reincarnated makes sense.
Oh man.
Checks out.
Maybe that's what he meant by there's another.
Oh, another
There
backwards
is
talker.
another.
There, another talker of the backwards. There is, huh?
All right, can we get to this moment?
No,
Damn.
I've been laying it out because
Here it
I
is.
wanted to lay it out because it was so filthy. I mean, Star Wars. I can't believe you would do this to young, impressionable children and show this kind of blasphemy.
My boy is
Right.
pulling game.
Whoa! Look at the little elephant boy. Got some
Wow.
smooches. Now, I mean, look at his trunk. His trunk is gonna look at his little ears like wiggled. He was all excited.
She grabbed it earlier and didn't want to. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so then they go into our supervisor tower, and this is where things get a little weird, right? So we see this giant room, right? And Jord kind of says that. He's like, this is just another empty room, right? And it, of course, the whole place is deserted, but they talk about
Freeze it. Hold. Wait. Pause.
pause, freeze.
All right. So the way this room is set up and the way that the pillars look and everything is super fancy, right? For me, it screams High Republic. This whole room, the way it's circular, the way these 9 towers are lined around it. There looks like there's something in the center there that's kind of destroyed, other things that are destroyed. But
Do you see this right here that looks like a
We've seen-
High Republic lightsaber?
uh-huh. Okay, so and I'm also like I'm going heavy on High Republic. You guys are gonna have to let me yap later on about this theory I have, but I'm taking it all from the video game. The observatory in the video game that you go up to the top of where Dagon is frozen all reminds me very similar of this, the whole quest on that planet, getting up there. And I really forgot what the other the one other thing that I was going to say about this room, but for me, the moon, okay, the moon observatory that they go to with all of the scrolls and everything. That is another pull directly from the video game. There's a moon there with an observatory near the Kobo Abyss or
where the
whatever it
Kobo
is.
Abyss, looking deep into the Kobo Abyss.
Yeah, all of the scrolls too. Like, I'm simply just my opinion, but they don't look 10,000 years old.
No,
I could accept a couple thousand years old, like they are High Republic scrolls. They're also calling them things like the jewels of the Old Republic. So
well,
I
they
don't
call
know
it
if
the jewels of the Republic. I don't.
she
think anybody
says
said. Did
I'm
she say old?
100% sure she says jewels of the Old Republic and hidden on purpose.
She
I
did
don't
say hidden on
think
purpose.
that I don't think that people during the Old Republic time would be calling them the jewels, hiding them on purpose kind of thing. This sounds like a discovery that took place maybe afterwards. Maybe it is High Republic. I think it's High Republic Jedi.
Okay,
So
but here's
that's what I'll start, and I'll just let you guys continue on.
well,
from
here's
here.
my question for you. But while we're on your tangent, my question is, what is High Republic?
High Republic is the time period.
Hold on.
that- okay,
Is it
sure.
the stuff in Acolyte?
Yeah, that is
Okay,
in theory
so-
at the end. It's not the exact end because we still
So-
see the Jedi on Coruscant.
Our Republic from our time of finding Anakin and Qui-Gon in Episode 1, that is the same Republic as in Acolyte.
No, absolutely not.
So
The
that
Acolyte, if the Acolyte, you're muted by the way, Sheev.
Technically, yes.
Well, okay. My question is this. Okay,
You guys
and this is where we differ. This is why I want to break this down real quick. So, the Republic at the time of Qui-Gon Jinn, all the way back to Vernestra and Yoda, is the same Republic.
Absolutely not. 100% incorrect.
So the Republic
information.
ended.
That's misinformation.
Okay, that's what we're clarifying.
Yep.
So that Republic ended. Yoda
200 years before the Phantom Menace, the High
I
Republic.
think you're a little confused about you're saying the time period ended, which yes, the time period ends about 100 years or so before the Phantom Menace.
What
or
I'm
like
questioning
around
is-
that's Scotty, it's all the same Republic.
Well, that's my question. Is
I would
the-
like
that
I would
Republic
like
ends-
confirmation of that. Yeah,
they talk about 1,000.
but people have also said it's a purge of the High Republic Jedi, and they are all wiped out.
But they talk about 1,000 years of peace, right? So in the the Sith haven't been seen for a millennia. That's the 1,000 years of peace they talk about. So if the High Republic is before that, then Yoda's not in the High Republic. But if Yoda's in the High Republic,
Yoda
that's just the
not
high
Yoda is in the
time.
High Republic. He's in the comics.
Right. Okay. So does that Republic end,
No.
and then there is a new Republic formed that is
No, the
our
Sith were in
Republic?
the shadows
I guess
that
that's the
entire
theory.
time plotting the eventual
Well, I don't-
Palpatine rise.
I don't.
but it wasn't.
Right.
didn't
That's
know
what
it
I'm
was gonna be
asking because
Palpatine, but-
I want clarification. So
Yeah.
if I'm an idiot in this subject, then there
No.
are other people who are questioning it because I'm probably the dumbest person in the room.
Well.
So that's why I'm saying the argument has been for quite a while since the Acolyte showed up, and because we saw Yoda and Ki-Adi-Mundi in Acolyte, that High Republic time frame is part of our Republic that we see in the prequels, and that Republic has been around for 800 plus years before the Acolyte episodes of the Acolyte, potentially 800 or 900, depending on where they exactly put that series.
Arguably, that could be. I mean, we don't know the
So
whole
it's the
minutia
same
of it all.
Republic.
We
The
know
old-
that we know that the Sith have been gone for 1,000 years, essentially. By the to them, really, they've been in hiding and around the entire time.
right.
But we also know that that like we don't necessarily know the structure of the Republic during that entire time. We do know during the High Republic that they have the same kind of a structure that we see during the Anakin and Obi-Wan periods of the
Right.
prequels, where there
Right. They're
is a
just- they don't-
chancellor. All the planets are kind of working in unison in a sense.
Well, and the
So-
reason I think it's called the High Republic
It was more the era of that time period. It was
Well,
the peak of the Jedi's in a sense because
they
they were in a
seemed-
piece of 1,000 years. So
Well, it seems like the peak of the Jedi, just based on the way that they're dressed, based on the way that they act, the elitism of them. It seems like that was
also the power they almost had within the Republic itself.
right, because they didn't even report to the Senate back then. Whereas
No.
when we see them, they report to the Senate.
There were
Right.
the start of that at the beginning of the High Republic novels and stuff was like they
Right,
were
so that's what I'm
starting to
saying.
kind of
It seems
trickle
like
that in.
the High Republic was a time when the Jedi had the most power, right? And then the Republic that we know is just the Republic. And so it seems like that's the differentiating
time.
factor is like what kind of power the Republic had or the Jedi had during that time because they're the storytellers, right?
Yeah.
Essentially. So so that's why I'm saying is I think this all falls under the same flag is what we're saying. The Old Republic, yes. Right. Okay. I think that's backwards. I think you have those two backwards. I think the High Republic is 1 to 200
I think
years ago.
even then, I don't even know if that's accurate because about 100 to 200 years ago would probably be the end of the High Republic.
Acolyte.
Yeah.
Close to the end of Acolyte I thought was going to be
And
start
then
of-
the Old Republic. Yeah. Okay. You're right. He probably does have
Okay,
that
so
backwards.
StarWars.com says
Okay.
the
I would
stories
say
of the High Republic range around 150 to 300 years before the birth of Anakin Skywalker.
Thank you. So it's all the same Republic.
We don't know how long the High Republic lasted. If it's a millennia, that's 1,000. Maybe it was a couple millennia.
But my point being is they say Old Republic credits. They're talking about
10,000 years.
no, well, see, that's I don't.
That's
think
what I'm
so.
saying. So that's where we completely disagree. I think anything they say Old Republic is Star Wars telling us, hey,
No,
alert,
but that's
alarm,
the thing
alarm,
is
alarm.
this
is Old
era is
Republic.
in a new Republic though.
Wyatt,
So the Old Republic to them would also be the regular Republic that we all know.
I think the Acolyte was
would.
described as the High Republic, not the Old Republic. But I
Why
could
are
be
we?
wrong.
Wait, so
No.
bro, explain that shit to me again, Chief, please.
I'm saying that basically because we are in an era where after the Empire has existed, they literally call themselves the New Republic.
Right.
After the Republic that Palpatine was leading became the Empire.
The war they have no knowledge of at all. Don't even know.
They
happened.
do. How would they
No,
not have no
literally
knowledge
say
of
no.
it?
The kids know nothing
Okay.
about a war at all. Period.
Who
Point blank.
called? But
No,
it
but they
wasn't
didn't-
them that called it the Old Republic,
Right.
though.
It was the
owl.
pirates. It was the
They
pirates.
wouldn't know anything about it being called an Old
The
Republic
owl
because
wouldn't.
No,
The owl that maps all the planets.
yeah, she says, "Hey, jewels of the Old Republic." She calls them
Okay,
that. Can
yeah,
we go back to the
because-
third
Time out.
episode?
Time out. The first episode, the pirates say Old Republic credits.
Correct.
The pirates
Yep.
say Old Republic credits. Now,
And the owl does too.
yes, the
She
pirates.
mentions the Old Republic jewels.
Right. So
which
everyone's
both the
saying
pirates
Old
And
Republic.
the owls would have knowledge of
Stand by. Stand by. We're gonna
the
find out.
Republic that existed during Palpatine.
We're gonna find out.
She does. Yes,
Let's see.
Yes, and so do the pirates. You would think.
they do. Yes.
Yes.
So you're
to
just
them-
so your assumption is that their Old Republic is the High Republic.
no. the
It's the same
High
Republic.
Republic is the same thing as the Republic during Palpatine.
You're a pirate. You're a pirate in the show. You're calling it the Old Republic. What era are you talking about?
Before pre-Empire.
At this time, you could be talking about the Old Republic of the Knights of the Old Republic, or you could be talking about the Old Republic of Palpatine.
It's
That
I
makes
believe
zero
it's
sense to me.
I believe
How
the
does that
sa-
make zero sense?
I
dude?
believe
It's
the
what I'm
same
trying to say. I'm
Republic-
not trying to get upset. I'm
You're
like
saying
trying
the
to
most
cut
recent Republic would be old to them.
to them
Yes.
because they're calling themselves new.
And
Yeah,
for
'cause-
me, I just think Star Wars ain't gonna say
No, I get what-
specifically
I get
Old
what you're
Republic
saying, but
without it
also
being that
in
that
the
would
Star
trigger
Wars
so
com-
many fucking people. It's triggering me right now that
Of
you
course.
guys
No, I
think it's
get you.
Palpatine's Republic. So
I'm
like,
not saying it's I'm not saying it's
I'm saying it could be.
Palpatine Republic. I'm saying it's anywhere from Yoda's. I'm saying it's anywhere in Yoda's lifespan. That's what I'm saying because Yoda was around for both of these republics, except for
Right.
the New Republic because he was
Sure.
dead. right? But that's how I look at this, because Old Republic would be 10,000 years.
Yeah, I think that every time they say Old Republic, that's what they're talking about.
Oh no. No.
Okay, that's what
don't
I think.
I don't think so. I think these are jewels of
I get why you would be triggered, and I do think that the fact that they're not clarifying it is a little upsetting, because it's like, dude, which
I
Old
mean,
Republic
nobody
are we
has
talking
ever
about?
mentioned Empire.
Okay, no, but
True.
that's the thing is
That's what they
they
called
also.
themselves. Why would they
But
not just say
they
Empire?
also are in an era where the government literally calls itself the New Republic,
right.
inquiring that there is an Old Republic that used to exist
What
before the
government is
Empire.
calling it New Republic?
The New Republic.
The New Republic.
The
yeah,
new-
in
the
the current
current-
timeline. Yeah, no one in the
Yes.
show has ever said New Republic.
Yes,
they have.
The
No.
pirates did. Yeah, they called New
In
Republic
Ahsoka, they have
starfighters.
called it
But
New
from the
Republic. In
planet, bro.
Mandalorian.
From
Well,
the planet, the kids
not
aren't
talking
calling the
about the-
Republic they work
No,
for. a
when
New
We're not
when
Republic.
does
talking
the
about the
kid? When do
Republic.
the okay?
We're not
But
talking about
the
the
kids
kids.
never have said Old Republic or New Republic
Correct.
because nobody from those planets has knowledge. You're right.
Right.
But all the other ancillary characters have said Old Republic, and they have knowledge of the fact that there is a New Republic.
The only time the people
Yes,
from
but-
at Aden have mentioned the Republic, they called it the Republic, not
They
new
just
or
got to say
old.
Empire. If they're talking about the Empire, they're going to say Emperor. If they're
But
talking
they
about Palpatine, they only refer to
But
themselves
that's
as
the thing.
Empire.
That's the thing. At this time, we don't know if people refer to what was before the Empire as the Old Republic, because now they're referring to what they're in as the New Republic.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. I just, yeah.
Well,
I get why it's frustrating though, because
We don't
to
agree.
me, it's like it's not that we don't agree. It's the fact that they're not clarifying it.
Yeah, it hasn't.
They're
been
just calling it the
clarified
Old
what
Republic,
knows
and it's
what,
like,
yeah.
okay, are we talking about Knights of the Old Republic here, or are we talking about the Republic that existed before the Empire? Because you're not giving us an answer to that. You're just saying Old Republic.
well, okay.
And hey,
so,
maybe that's part of the mystery of the show, but also you're right. It is kind of frustrating. Like, come on, dude.
well,
What are we talking about?
So our
Yeah.
elder owl has mentioned it as a jewel of the Old Republic. Now, this is where we continue to talk about this.
Can you
Everybody,
go to the scroll? Can you show it?
Yeah.
Now that we've
Yeah.
confirmed the line.
now that we've seen, so this is what Shiva's saying. Everybody off at Aden refers to those credits as Old Republic credits. At Aden, anybody from at Aden doesn't even refer to it as new or old. It's just the Republic,
Dataries. They just
right?
call them
Yeah,
dataries.
data reads too.
right? So
At least
they're-
the kids did. Yeah.
and
Heck, the
and-
dad did too.
They don't
when he
know the
gave it to
value.
kid, right?
right, they don't know the value, right? They're just fucking daily. Here's your daily chips. Here's your daily fucking whatever. But when you look at the conversations we've heard from the kids, they don't remember Coruscant, or they don't remember Alderaan being exploded, which was technically at the 19 years after the Republic had fallen, right? Because Luke was 18, 19 years old when we first see him, which is how old Leia is.
It was around 0 BBY,
Right.
which was about
And never
19,
forget-
20
Never
years
forget
later.
0 BBY.
Never.
But it's actually 19 years after the Empire had started. So these kids don't, in their lifetime, they never heard that Alderaan got destroyed 20 years ago.
No, it
right,
would have been
or
only
10
like
years
5
ago.
or 6.
Well, it'd have been 10 because we're in the Mando time frame. So it's 10
No,
years
that's
after.
the thing. That's what I'm trying to say. 0 BBY is about the time that Alderaan would have been blown up.
Check out
And
Sky-
we are
Sky-
in about 6 ABY.
We're at like 10.
No,
This
we're
is
at
in the
like
Man-
6. Well,
This is-
I
this
guess
is
depending
after Mando
depending on
3.
how many years have actually happened
It's
in
10.
between the
Just-
seasons.
It's 10. Just call it 10. Does it matter what 1 year or 2 or 3? Does it
Oh,
matter?
what
Exactly.
years
Just
is a
call it
big
the Old
difference.
Republic 10,000 years ago.
It's
You're
10
probably
years.
right. It's probably like 10.
It's closer to 10 than it is to 5. How's that? Somewhere in the middle. We'll call it 9, 8.5, right?
I'm
Whatever.
just going to say it. Fuck you, Star Wars, and your canon timeline.
My point
'Cause
being
it don't make
is
sense.
my
Yeah, you
point
don't give
being
us
is-
answers.
that we're at a 10-year-old. We're at 10 years, which means that Alderaan has been gone for over a decade. That longer than these kids have been alive, and they're still teaching them about Alderaan. which means that they don't have any idea about the war. This whole planet has had 20, 30
Yeah.
years not knowing about the Empire at all.
But that's the annoying part,
Right,
is
and
it
that's-
still doesn't give us enough information to whether or
Hey.
not they were around during the Clone Wars, or if they were around during, or if that, their planet disappeared during that time, or if it was during the
But
High
what-
Republic or during the Old Republic. Like, it
Hey,
doesn't
guys.
give us a
Skywalker's
definitive.
Academy got me googling, and in the Phantom Menace, Qui-Gon offers Watto 20,000 Republic dataries for a hyperdrive generator. Just saying.
Ooh,
Okay,
I like that.
interesting.
Just
Dataries?
saying. Yeah. Plus, if it was me, I would just apologize and ask for peace. I'm being Neel right now.
Did he call them dataries?
That's
Yeah, they've
Cora
been called
said. I haven't got
dataries by the
good
kids,
story.
and I think
no.
by the dad.
By
of one
Qui-Gon.
of
Did
the-
Qui-Gon call them that?
I don't, apparently.
Trying to get a better source. Cora said that, and Skywalker's Academy said that. That's all I got so far.
We're going to have to verify that by the end.
Yeah.
So here's your map, Scotty. Here's
Yeah.
the planets.
Yep. I don't know, man. I'm just it's all a lot of speculation. It's all based off of the current
Well-
video game timeline and things that he's discovering that are ancient. The scroll looks like things he's finding. All these orb, the planet, different shapes, different patterns on them. It says something about like nourishing. If you go and look at people who have translated this, there's just the great work is mentioned on there. That's a thing that they say in the High Republic. So
Great works.
scrolls, I think the scrolls are directly from the High Republic as well. Kind of ties into my theory about the observatory. And again, the video game had observatories on all these
will
old
say,
High
to
Republic
your-
worlds.
To add on to your theory, like, it would make a lot of sense with kind of some of the High Republic stuff that we've seen, and that
Mhm.
would still technically be the Old Republic to them. And it like, that would be dope if it is kind of tying into that timeline, and it could make a lot of sense that the former chancellor.
So
could
here's
have even
another. I'll give you another
hidden
little
the planets.
another piece of evidence, and I think another big thing that we're all talking about is money. We think that these planets are funding certain project. I think that one of the biggest projects, and the show begins with the caption about hyperspace lanes and how pirates are like basically running shit out here in these hyperspace lanes. The great work or the goal of the High Republic was to expand the hyperspace lanes. That's what Starlight Beacon was. It was supposed to be the port in the Outer Rim that connected every hyperspace lane they were building. How much money does it take to build hyperspace lanes that never existed from the Inner Rim to the Outer Rim?
Yeah.
That's the biggest project the galaxy's ever seen, except for maybe Death Star building.
Yeah, it feels almost like what could have happened wasn't it Lena So, the former chancellor?
Yeah,
during that
it was
time
the
period?
Republic at the time working with the Jedi. Okay, so I'll go
Yeah,
into
and
it even
and
further.
they were her great works, though, correct?
The Republic claimed ownership of it, yes, because they were the ones calling the shots. It was a time of peace and prosperity in the galaxy, but
So
going
what
into
if-
the Outer Rim jacked up everything for pirates and the control they had out there. So the Nile started attacking them, and that's what started this
Ooh.
whole conflict. The Nile are
Yeah.
pirates, marauders. They are pirates.
Straight up. Yeah, no. So what if it's possible during that time, part of like, or like between the Acolyte and like the end of the High Republic books, or where they are at this point, like between that time, what if it's possible Lena So's like part of her great works was taking these 9 planets and kind of hiding them because they had potential routes or hyperspace lanes that could potentially lead to places like Peridia, or like
I like that.
parts in the unknown regions.
I definitely think that the Jedi, I think that the Jedi are the ones that hid them because they were using it potentially to help fund the great work, which was expanding their grip in the galaxy to the Outer Rim and the
Yeah, we're
protection
getting
and
somewhere.
prosperity that
Let's
came
go.
with that. So I guess I'll lay out my last like final piece of evidence for the theory is the analytics and the mathematics actually is tying me back to the High Republic, because the Nile had the ability to basically predict hyperspace lanes and where people were going to come in and out of them. They were described to be able to travel through the lanes like dragonflies and how they fly in like a not consistent pattern. So we couldn't predict where they were going to come out. But the way that they were able to predict it is, and you're gonna have to Google it if you're really interested in it. It's her name is Mari Centeca. Yes,
Yeah,
the very
the
same
Centeca,
Centecas.
yeah.
The Centecas are notoriously treasure hunters. So this all kind of ties into like finding treasures. One time the Centeca clan goes out treasure hunting, gets zapped by some shit like Fantastic Four. Mari now has this ability to predict, and she gets captured by the Nile. They're controlling her, giving her just enough sustenance to control her mind and use her ability to basically control everything out there.
Yeah.
The math, dude. The kids are all talking about the roots of whatever, and they're analyzing and shit. The Republic, Senator, what's her name, and the Jedi are able to literally build an algorithm with every satellite within their net that mimics her magical ability to predict where the hyperspace lanes are going to go. And that's how they defeat and run off the Nile.
Damn.
So I don't know, but like, that's my whole theory. We get to the observatory stuff, and that's where it's like all of this just looks High Republic to me.
I love that
Play
you
for
brought
like
up the
5
Santecas real
seconds.
quick. Just
Yeah.
The-
I know I'm yapping, but
that owl
I have
chip
20,000
reminds me a
Republic
ton of them.
Dactylis.
yeah.
Okay,
So
Republic
I know
Dactylis.
that was a lot, but
Bacteria.
Well, okay, look, let's get back into this for a second. So yes, the fact that they used those during that time, great. Then that's what they're referred to, not just by this old.
I think we're all kind of assuming it's High Republic at this point, right?
I'm down with that.
Nah,
The scroll.
Okay,
It could
So-
be. I don't know.
okay. So from what I've gathered, I've been studying this scroll for a minute, and it does say planets of wonder kept hidden. It does say jewels of the old republic. It does seem like this is young Yoda time frame, let's call it, more than anything, more than it is Revan. It is Revan time frame. So that's where I'm putting this, in young Yoda time frame. Now,
Young Yoda.
the way that I look at this is this right here. These people are the creators of these paradises, let's call them the jewels. Now, whether they
It's
were
kind of like
planets-
a Wookiee celebrating Life Day to me, but
Okay.
that's just
sure.
ism.
This planet here, this is where they're from, right? This is the headquarters of where these people are, whether it's an experiment, whatever it is, a safety system, whatever.
I wondered
These-
about that other planet there.
These are the 9 planets that they have hidden and are protected. Now, all of these, if you look at the way it's structured, all of these feed this planet, right? So whatever this planet is, seems to be getting all of the resources, or maybe that this is protecting all of these. We don't know, right? But it just seems like these 5 beings down here, and there's an edge cut off out here, and this is where I think that our buddy Neel's people
oh yeah,
would
maybe.
be over here, because it goes all the way to the edge, and you see how it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm
Oh,
looking
we're-
more at the yellow beams coming off, maybe being like hyperspace lanes too.
Cool. Yeah, sure. Right. This looks like a hyperspace map, right? So these could have been the planets that, like you're saying, maybe outposts. Each planet is on the edge of a star lane or a hyperspace lane, right? And maybe these are markers, not only jewels, but markers. Whatever the case, it seems like there's a piece cut off over here that we can't see. And I think it's Neel's species that are being left off of this intentionally.
They're
But
all
whatever-
Jedi.
Whatever it could be, whatever it is, and his robes do look Jedi. If you look at them, this guy does look like the
I
robes
think
of
the
a
mural
Jedi.
too. The more I look at it in all the buildings, is kind of screaming High Republic
Well,
Jedi
but
too.
look at his robes scream High Republic, right? Look at the V,
Maybe witches
the
of the
belt.
High Republic.
right? The belt, the whole thing, the cloak, everything here screams High Republic Jedi.
well,
I
the
have a
gold definitely
question.
does.
Tee it up, Lainey.
Wasn't the first High Republic, didn't the first High Republic book actually mention specifically at the very beginning that during that time they were just starting to expand to outer?
Yeah, they didn't have any control out there. The Starlight Beacon project was basically just getting started when the whole big disaster happened. It was like sending humans there for the first time to like start facilitating jobs and getting things started out there, but they were just building these routes.
Yeah, heck, the disaster was literally because of what basically an asteroid field going into hyperspace lane or something like that. Like,
I
or there
think
was an
what had
accident in the
happened
hyperspace,
was
right?
nothing had ever like been in the way of a hyperspace lane. Like there had been things that had like almost gotten in, but they burn up as they do. But the Nile were able to like literally put things purposefully in the way. So they had to make a maneuver that caused them to leave hyperspace, and everything left at hyperspeed. So that's how the first book starts. The Great Disaster is all these people literally in like train cars traveling at hyperspeed coming out directly pointed at an entire galaxy or an entire solar system of planets.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hmm.
But Starlight Beacon is destroyed eventually. So that's why we don't hear about any of this stuff, because it literally doesn't happen.
That's what I'm
Well-
saying, though. It's possible, like, as a last resort thing or something along those lines, like Lena So or whoever the next chancellor was kind of like hid these planets to kind of hide
Port Borgo
routes.
is important too, I think. It's old.
So the translation, now I have been looking into the translation of said scroll, and this is the one of the interpretations that I've gotten is that okay, so at the top left and bottom left together, I don't know how that is, but basically, and the words were Nugurish, and let's see, Wither End, and the families were housed, and the worlds and the people we created, not harmed, but the jewel of the Republic, many of the. The thing is, it's all choppy, right? Because it's not. It's cut off on the bottom left, and there's parts that are cut off.
I think something that's kind of fascinating that New Rockstars pointed out is that because it is so old, the language he
Right.
said it's almost like there's a full complete word, but then one of the symbols is just different, and it's just
Well,
like an ancient language. It's not the language
They're having a
they
problem
speak
with,
and have translated now.
they're having a problem with the U's and the G's specifically in this language, right? Is everybody who reads Arabesh?
Interesting.
I don't think these are the same solar system. I think it just depicts how many there are, where, and the fact that they're protected.
It looks more like the map of the galaxy than a solar system.
right. And these look
They were like
diff-
handpicked.
These look like different sectors, right?
But why do they all have such similar names? You think they were just given these names, like
Yes,
founded and taken and given
yes,
a stupid name that sounds
at
alike?
Aden, at Cholom, at blah, 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 blah,
Well,
blah.
that's
That
why I think
naming
it
shit
was.
sounds High Republic too. I'll just say it.
That's why I think it was hidden by like the High Republic leader or whoever it was at that point. If it wasn't Lena, So like I think she just was like, these planets all have access and routes, or like there's
And
routes
everything's
near
so
them.
polished and so calculated and so
And,
programmed.
yeah,
You know,
it's
I don't know.
It's weird.
It seems like it seems like what people are saying is there's a lot of repetition on these scrolls, and that a lot of it centers around the fact that they were housed and created, and that they were let's see, some people, as soon as I flipped the symbols, became clear so that the rest of the symbols in the right direction. Okay, so people are saying that they're reading it wrong. So this is from oh fuck it, I'm just gonna put it up because this is what we're doing. So let's get on board with it. This is what we're doing. So I'm
Can you imagine like becoming an Arabesh expert?
I wish I was smart enough to do it, bro. I'm just too stupid.
I've tried.
Could you imagine that
I'm
the
just too
IP
stupid.
actually put as much thought into it that we do?
Right. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can read it. If not, I will send you a link to where you can read it. But basically, The Starlight Archive podcast on 12/11 put this out. And so the Starlight Archive says, okay, so I translated the Arabic on the scroll, but I didn't recognize the script on the planet, so I decided to treat it kind of like a cryptogram. First and foremost, some of the Arabic was flipped, some was upside down, so I assumed the same might happen on the planet's names. Lo and behold, one was backwards, one was upside down, one was both backwards and upside down. As soon as I flipped them, the symbols became fairly clear. So, assuming that the rest of the symbols were now in the right direction, we get these symbols, right? And it shows us a picture here.
Who made this scroll? It's like in elementary school when they put the
No,
big
it's
page
like a-
down on the
No,
floor and
it's like
everybody
a
draws on it from
fucking
a different
genius.
direction.
It's like a fucking genius did this because it knows
No, I mean the
us.
scroll itself. Like, why were the planets'
No.
names flipped over and upside down?
I'm saying that this is done by a fucking genius at Disney.
Actually, yeah, I
Because
would
this
say
is
that's pretty good.
They know us.
No, I
They
know,
know
but
how fucking
you're not
nerdy we
you're
are.
not understanding what I'm saying. Like when the people were writing it on the paper themselves, why did they write the planet's name upside down and backwards? It's like in elementary when you're all drawing
What
a
if
picture
that's how
from a
the name's
different
spelled?
direction.
I'm just saying it's such a genius move because they know us. They know people like Kyle Katan can read Arabic.
Mess
They
with your mind.
And so this is a way to screw with them. Hey, let's make the G's and the U's upside down and screw with them, right? Because they know we're going to dissect it. They want us to hunt harder and do this kind of stupid stuff to figure out what they're doing, right? That's how I feel. I feel like this is a baller move, right? Doing it upside down in different directions. Now you're saying from the scroll writing perspective of the
Yeah,
old
just the
Republic,
creation of it.
but what if multiple people were doing
The
the same?
writer's room.
What if the multiple people were doing it at the same time? Right?
That's what
What
I'm
if they were
saying.
just
Like
bad
they
at
never
it?
turned the page.
No, yeah. This was multiple monks doing the drawings on this at the same time. Yeah.
They said you take this spot, you take
Yeah,
this spot.
we're
you
in a
take
hurry.
this spot.
You got the north, I got the south, you got the east, you got the west. Ready and break.
It doesn't got to be perfect.
That's
Right.
what
Could have
I'm
been the symbols could have been different at a different era too. So
Okay,
So
so
this
they
is-
pulled all the little symbols, like the vertical ones next to the.
This looks, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the
Nuts.
murder. I don't know if you guys remember the ransom notes of the 80s,
The Zodiac killer.
right?
Yeah.
The ones where they cut like individual letters out of different newspapers and use those to create the note. That's what that image reminds me of, right? This image right here reminds me very much of like somebody cutting newspaper clippings and sticking them together, you know.
Dedication.
Right. Okay, so Starlight Archive gets back into it and says, so this is when things got tricky. Remember those planets earlier that had weird flipped script? Well, I guess what they're not just flipped writing, they're literally flipped backwards. They're literally flipped words. Bottom planet is flipped center planet and backwards upside down peppermint planet. Top planet is just flipped target planet. Without any further evidence, I chalk it up to trying to get out designs and props as fast as possible, just like we were saying. So anyway, if Adin was spelled the same way it is at the time of the show, then there's an unaccounted for letter in the middle that shouldn't be there. Maybe an H or one fell off due to some sort of, vowel shift. But aside from a few cases, Star Wars linguistics doesn't typically include that kind of thing.
that's interesting because there is a planet that we know of now called Akron that does have an H.
Right. So, but we didn't know that last week. This was last week.
No, yeah, I know. That's why I just said that though.
Right. All that said, we have a cryptogram here, and the words are all made, and there's a very real possibility that we know what the letter A is. Perhaps we'll one day learn about the ninth planet, the 9 planets, 8 other planets they sealed away, perhaps not. So, yeah, so this is, people going way in, right? On a whole different level. Real deep, right?
That's real deep.
That one was great. I enjoyed the shit out of that one. So let's get back to our back to where we were before we detoured onto the Scrolls of Destiny. So we get here to the kids enter their supervisor tower, right? And this is where things get real spicy. Here we have our young friend find something pretty immediately, and this is very Indiana Jones. This is very
On a whim.
Goonies.
very Goonies, very all of that.
Oh, some of the other translations that we didn't talk about last week is the owl's screen when she separates the symbol from the backpack. One says like unidentifiable Old Republic, and the other one says something else. But the symbols that the kids have from school is also pulled from like whatever they're calling Old Republic at that time.
Oh, so the language is actually
Whatever symbol's on his
back.
jacket right there. If you go back a little bit, it's on their chest of the jackets.
Their breastplate.
Yeah. Yeah, the owl noticed it on Ferns right there.
that the
Yeah.
chevron.
Yeah, the owl noticed something on Ferns and she said it's because I'm the head of the class or something like that.
No, I thought the patch was what she had to wear because she was head of the class.
Yeah, and it's got that trapezoid symbol and something else that they analyzed in her computer when they were looking up the planets. But yeah, anyway.
Anywho.
So I want to see if these symbols are on the map, is what I want, the star map. I want to see if these symbols correlate with any of the rings around the map. But it seems like, and this is where, so the kids, everybody looks out. Here's at Arisa. Did I say that right?
At Arisia.
Okay. And then we have at Adin, right? Then there's
Man, I thought that was a lightsaber strike at first too.
At
That took out the
I2?
coordinates
yeah, right.
before SM
at
did it.
Itua, right? So I want to see if those symbols are on the map. And that's the star map coordinates. So that's what they put into the
Looks like a little
computers.
sun above that in the center there.
It almost
maybe.
looks like that old Jedi symbol with the
The wings
yeah.
potentially. Yeah.
We'll see on the other one because the other one. So they found that one. They found at Turista, and then Elephant Boy finds at
I
His
found
Adam.
name is
home.
Neil.
I know what his name is. He's Elephant Boy. This is just like they call Grogu the child still.
Put some
God damn it.
respect on his name.
At Okoda, right? And then he found at Adin. Now we run over. Of course, Neel found at Adin. Number one. There, I called him by his name. Are you happy?
He put a Rancor to sleep.
Rancor to
that
sleep.
was Grogu.
Ah, shit.
Baby Yoda.
I was-
Yeah.
Okay,
thought it was
come on. Let's
Grogu.
get. I want to see this.
Governor Brogu, we scared him off.
Yeah, Brogu had to go to
Let
bed.
it run right from there. They're gonna go.
Yeah,
over
I think you're Grogu because he disappeared around the same time you did.
At
So
the same time your kids went to bed, Brogu went to bed. So I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
right there.
God damn it, squeaks.
No, he keeps it keeps jumping on me. It's stupid.
Oh, jumpy.
Stupid jumpy. Margarista. There we go.
sounds like
What
a
happened,
childish
man? How
Gambino
come-
album.
How come we're here today instead of yesterday, by the way? What happened
I
there?
was working.
Oh, I thought it was like National Everybody Fall Asleep Early Day. Because like I did. and all the
No,
rest
I was working until
No, I'm feeling it right now though.
I was
of it. Passed out
working
at like
until
7 last night. It was amazing.
9. Oh, I wish.
I woke up like a new person.
I was on the court. I was on the court at 8.
I had time to eat cereal this morning before work.
Nice. Okay, so
crazy.
it's not the top here, right? It's not the top here. It's the bottom that had the star
Mhm.
coordinates, right? Just
Yep.
like the data
The
disk. she
top
had.
will have the names of the others too, because that definitely says that, and you
Right.
know, some of them might be.
Well, you can read the language, right? So that's what everybody's doing right now.
Oh, is this
It-
so? This actually kind of debunks what the guy was saying about missing letters in the names because it's
Correct.
clearly stated right there.
correct. So
So
this
he'll
is,
revise his statements
Yes,
based
yes.
off some of this.
So this is obviously the A, and this is the T,
Yep.
and then A T.
Yeah, I'm trying to
T,
figure out if that's an upside down T compared to normal Arabic, though.
Oh.
Hmm.
Oh.
That's actually a really good question because, yeah, that's what they're saying. It's basically like what a hieroglyphic would be to.
Yeah, so it's A
Translated
T.
that.
Oh yeah, that's a
A
normal
T
T.
T
That's a
I
normal
N.
T. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a normal T in Arabic.
Mhm.
Right. So that's at Aden. So I want to take that eventually and put it up to the scroll and see if we can start dissecting, because this is the second or third name. So now we have more of a
Now,
more
why
of a,
does each planet have one of these observatories with a room like this with all the coordinates?
because
And
they're
also,
connect-
what's the thing above?
the
When
ball?
they first walk into the room? No, I mean, when they first walk in the room, the ceiling looks like it's functioning of some sort. Or am I just crazy?
I don't know. We're gonna go back and look.
Like crazy, but could be right.
Yeah.
Just might be crazy enough.
It makes me want to go back and look through Survivor video game, honestly.
about
I
that?
feel you.
Yeah, right there. I don't know. Maybe just,
That kind of
For
reminds
look.
me of the Bacta tank from Dengarin.
bro, if there was a tube in the middle of this room.
That's what I mean. That's what it feels like. Like there's a missing tube in the middle of it.
Nah, don't. No, don't do
Kind of
it.
reminds me of the dance scene from Ben
Don't give me
Left.
hope.
Don't give me hope.
Hasn't
Sorry.
someone already said that the other planet looked a little bit like that one? The one from Jedi Survivor?
Oh,
No, that's what Scotty was
maybe.
saying. Scotty was saying that the elevator looks exactly the same. That the
I was saying
observatory
these
looks the same.
observatory just kind of remind me of
Well,
how you
yeah, that's
travel
why I'm
through the
like,
video
maybe that was one of them then, because there's 5 or 9
Right,
of
so
them.
this
apparently.
is so now this is at what did he call it at? But now we have more of a vocabulary, so now people should maybe be able to
there's
decipher
a T in there.
the scroll.
There's
No,
a
he says
something
it.
T.
Watch, he'll
Yeah.
say it right now. That's at
I too.
right? So
I-
now we have more consonants, more vowels. People should be able to decipher this a little more based on the fact that we see a couple of these. So we move forward and the coordinates are gone and we find out, and this was the big reveal of the episode. Everybody, I don't know if anybody saw it coming. I think a lot of us knew what was coming here. Not so much that to the extent, but I think a bunch of us knew that Smee was a little bit more than meets the eye. That repetitive statement had more to do with it. So
On my second rewatch, I started to catch him saying it when they weren't asking him about Atten, just
Yeah.
when the word was being said.
that's
And
just
I'm
it.
like,
As
why
soon
is
as
he even mentioning? They're not
Yeah.
talking to him.
Yeah, it's a subliminal. It's a subliminal thing. It's a code
Yeah,
word. It's
that
a
was
code
cool.
word. As soon as he hears that code word, his memory jogs back.
Oh,
And-
okay. So can I say something too? This is how you do a voice reveal or something like that. I hate how they did the Silvo thing in the beginning. Like, give Captain Silvo with the helmet a line like can't say I remember Atten, but he's saying in the helmet, completely mask the voice so we don't know it's Jude Law. And then Jude Law without the mask on in the 4th or 5th episode says that exact same line, and we as the audience go, don't just half fake Jude Law's voice so we can tell it's him in the first damn
But
episode.
did we really
Like,
need to
come
hide
on.
that? Like, who cares?
Well, I mean, wouldn't it be cooler to know he wasn't Silvo until you actually see him in jail? Like, I don't know.
He was
Call me
wearing
crazy,
similar
but
clothes though. Too,
hearing his
no?
voice right away, I'm like, oh,
I don't know what
Jude
you
Law.
mean. They can't change voices in Star Wars? I don't know what you mean, man. I mean,
No.
it's just
And he's got the mask on, like, so easy. I don't know. That's a
What
very small
mask?
nitpick, but the shit annoyed me.
I mean, it's so easy. You could just do it in several different ways. I could have done it easier than anything.
Yeah.
You think this
Princess
sounds-
Leia
wait
is
till
speaking
he
in a
uses
foreign
his actual
language.
voice changer.
Anyway.
So, okay. So we get to this point. This is the big reveal, right? This is where things get really entertaining. I
like
turn the
this
volume.
reveal.
I turned the volume on for this just because if we get kicked off, we get kicked off. But I'm not going to play the whole thing. We're just gonna,
I did.
and that's why. Were you looking for those coordinates? Like, oh, I'm sorry. He kind of hinted that he had been here before. He kind of hinted that this was a thing. We kind of knew this was coming, but we didn't. I don't think we really knew it to what extent.
Why were you looking for those?
And then he destroys them.
Why would you destroy them?
Destroy what? The coordinates, yada, yada, yada. She
Why
goes
would you
in.
do that?
This is my favorite part of the whole episode. This is my favorite part of the whole episode right here.
Maybe you can repair his memory? There's probably only a couple 100 million circuits.
Oh, we could repair only a couple 100 million circuits. It's no big deal, right? We'll just lickety split, right? We'll just repair him. That's my favorite because she's like, there's only a couple 100 million. I could get through that in, by lunch. So
it's not that big a deal.
So homegirl goes into the corner to cry. Our little dude comes and, nurses her back to her ego back to health. And then we get to this moment of realization. The light bulb goes off right. Not so much here. Not so much here.
That was a good scene between these two.
Not so much here.
Yeah, it was actually good.
There it is. Oh, I found it. I found it. Everybody relax. I found it.
This girl, she's gonna be a star.
Yeah,
So
it's a good scene.
she figures out the light bulb goes off in her head and she figures out what's really going on here. Now, again, we've all I think the mouse in his eye has something to do with this. I think it's like every time he hears that, he's like biting on a cable that resets him. But we see in this moment that she goes and confronts dude and they kind of gave a hint that this was going to come, right? That she was her manipulating droids was something they showed initially with her character. She goes home, her nanny droid is like, "Where have you been?" And it's like command override Alpha Bacon 9 or 615, and the droid's like, "Confirmed, you've been here the whole time." So
a foreshadow.
Right? A foreshadowing, if you will, right? Star Wars likes to foreshadow. So we get to this point, and then the light bulb kind of goes off that that's what's happening, and she confronts the droid, and then gives him an order, right? Oh, I pulled the same thing on my nanny droid, and then boom, we figure out what she's gonna do, and then great face, and then she gives him the order to speak about it, right? And instantly, as soon as she gives that order, he's like,
Yes,
"Oh yeah,
I do remember Atatin.
And then things
What's the mouse
go.
now?
Notice the mouse isn't there anymore. The mouse is like, "Oh shit!" She said at it. She let the genie out of the bottle.
You
I'm
done
outta
it
here."
now.
Right?
Well, the
Then
program
he ordered
kicks
me
back
to
in.
destroy them.
So he destroyed him, and then the voice changing was really cool.
Pull them apart.
Pull him apart.
Piece by piece.
Pull them apart.
I'm upset we didn't see any bones. And then, of course, it's Neel that saves the day. They even played him some heroic music.
Is Neel the one that saves day though? Because Jod, last time I checked, pulled
They both kind of did. Neil
Yeah, I mean,
distracted
Neil
them.
distracted
He
them.
sacrificed
John.
himself.
Crimson Tiger, whatever we want to call him. He doesn't get any credit here at all. He's
No.
like, oh, thanks.
Yeah,
Neel."
so he switches off the switch,
Jod's like, I've kept you alive this whole damn episode. Like, come on.
and then Neel
So he was
passes
ordered.
out.
So he's ordered to pull them limb from limb.
Yes,
Captain is a Wookiee, confirmed.
confirmed. The captain is a Wookiee. Yes, I agree with that statement. And then Neel passes out. So I don't
So his
know.
order was.
Well, and I'm kind of curious. I mean, didn't we find? I mean, we found the knife in what seemed like the captain on the ship, right? I mean, he had the big hat on and everything. So, in the first
Here was a
episode-
comment that I made online that got a lot of traction. I think the captain's been using Atten as a stronghold for quite some time, potentially. We see a stockpile of gold. Remember, I have to assume that like the kids have never heard anything about treasure. No one's let any of that ever slip before. So I don't know if he found stuff there. I kind of am thinking it's like he or they have accumulated stuff in this place for quite some time.
So we see
What is
it.
the original?
It's in the trailer.
Right in the heist in the beginning. What was the original piece of like gold? that
It was a
left?
Republic credit. It was
It
a
was a-
single Republic.
A little
credit.
square.
A new one
Yeah.
or old one?
Old one. Same.
It was
same
an old
credit.
one, just like this.
Yeah, here. I'll put
It
up.
was gold, but I don't know if it was...
pull it up here.
Oh, you had it there.
No, it's
The
right
wolf.
Here. It's right here.
Yeah.
Is it like broken? Or that's just the square?
No, it's just one solid coin.
Oh, it's a New
Oh,
Republic.
it's
It's
new.
a Republic
Okay.
credit. It's a New Republic credit. That's
Yeah,
what it
from the
is.
current
From the current administration.
from the Mando. Yep.
See, and that
That'd be
looks
trippy.
different.
That is different because that's New Republic.
That's
the-
different than the old Republic credits.
Yeah, that the kids had from their planet.
It's a troll
Yeah.
in the dungeon.
And here,
Oh,
where is
It's
he?
a-
In the dungeon! Troll in the dungeon! Thought you ought to know.
I love like obsessions anticipatory. Like,
And so he just dumped. This is my favorite part. He just dumps a pile of these like they're nothing. Like, oh, here's bounty hunters would chop your legs off for these. No
Yeah.
big deal, right?
spoiler.
this
ritual,
is your
you know?
lunch money.
So I didn't see on that, and this is kind of why I wanted to go back to this. I didn't see the rails on the floor on the not at Adden.
Oh,
No.
oh, in the,
No,
well,
Right.
it was all destroyed.
Right, but I didn't
And
see
it's
any
the
kind of.
road.
I didn't see really any of that.
it
But
looked
anyway, you see
different
the
enough to me. But
you see the tower in the distance, right? And so that's the thing.
Benson didn't see any sun on Ed Akron.
Well, that's true too.
Any joy
different
whatsoever.
area.
I want to see the school from the outside. Yeah,
Sure,
it's
about
Oh, whoa! He's definitely a player. Wasn't he into that green thing too?
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, my dude.
Runa?
sure
She has a
player.
name?
She has a name,
Sorry.
that green thing.
My bad.
Jeez, it's like I call somebody Elephant Boy.
Right.
Okay, so there's the
Talk about
patch. There's the
stroking
patch you were
trunks over
talking
here.
about.
Oh,
Scotty.
wait. Can we see her tree? Can we see the tree in this house? Because Neil said it was like
Her
the tree in the
trunk.
other house was
Well,
way
and I wanted to
bigger.
come back. I wanted to come back here because of the
I
mural.
mean, the size of the tree, I'm sure it doesn't matter.
The
It's
mural is what I
how
wanted to
it
come back
blows in
for
the
also.
wind. Look, there's no tree. It's a spiral staircase, and the tree was growing around it. Yeah.
Yeah, the mural in this place. Yeah, it's just a spiral staircase. There is no tree.
Yeah, so what the hell?
Well, that tree grew in the 50 years, 100 years, 150 years. The mural here is what I was trying to get to because this looks the same. This looks identical to.
That does look similar.
Hey, yo,
exact-
and is that a blue lightsaber on the left-hand side?
That's what it looks like to me,
Hey yo.
Just saying.
right?
Hey.
So here we have the elephant species.
Elephant dude.
Here's,
Oh
here's-
my god.
Here's this
The Neel species.
Neil's ancestor.
That bro and
Neil's ancestor. Does that make you feel better? Your sensibility?
homie and Yoda go way back.
Yo, way back.
Yeah, four-fingered. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
so
In
is
some
this-
movies.
is this the same symbol as the patch?
I thought you were going
is
somewhere
my
else with the
question.
four fingers.
What was your question? Sorry.
Is this looks like the same symbol as the
I
patch
think so, yeah.
she's about to get, right? Because you
Yeah.
fast forward to, right, and again, somebody kneeling, working class, then the upper class that's protecting or dealing with the stars. Because here's another planet, the bullseye planet, right?
Well, no, that's just the thingy in the atmosphere, the barrier.
Oh, you think that's the barrier? Okay, okay.
I'm just kidding. Maybe.
Right. And then let's see. Come on, I want to see that patch. Head of the class. Come on.
A leader of the pack.
Okay. So that looked,
Yeah, so okay, so the owl pulls the trapezoid, and then what looks like the guitar strings that go down the center but curl at the bottom. That symbol is in the observatory above the coordinates, but we don't actually see the trapezoid thing. So
okay. Then some more studying. Everybody's going to work. We find the ship. Well, where?
Also, they have all these stories of Jedi too, so that's
I
why
was
I'm
kind of
like,
thinking about that too when because one of them looks like Luke with the Rancor, and that's like the only one without any text under it, I think. And somebody did actually break down the Arbish from those too.
mhm.
And they're definitely most of them Jedi I've never heard of, which makes me think either High Republic or Old Republic.
Mhm. Yeah, they definitely drop a couple names.
Yeah,
I want to say like Lena was one of them, but yeah, again, nobody on the
Lena
internet.
So.
Jacket, just get all the dirt off of it once you win the ship. That's what I want to know. You know what I'm saying?
Well, look,
covered in dirt, gets in the ship, no dirt. What we doing?
Well, hey, it's the movies, okay? It's Hollywood. I mean, at the end of this episode, it seems like, I mean, weird place to stop. Like I said, I like that they're starting to figure out that that they can figure out, a good place to end the episode. But
it leaves you wanting more still, though.
That's just
it. It keeps the mystery going, and the kind of nice mid-season,
There you go, Scotty. That one's just for you.
Okay.
Well, I mean, so what's the thought? I mean, is this if Smee was hired, or if Smee was ordered to destroy the coordinates and he still has them in his memory bank, and the captain is dead, long time dead, because his body completely decomposed, or did the captain integrate into life? It just seems like they were shot down. I was looking for a shot of the school from up top, but they never really gave us anything on the roof or anything of the school. I was looking to see if that dome was there, to see if there was a ballistic defense system up there or something. But if these planets are identical, and it seems like the only way to take down this kind of society would be from within, right? It's not anything like, how did these guys get past if that planet had a barrier? You would think that those satellites were more the barrier than a weapon.
Well, why does the owl cat say that they were all ordered to be destroyed except for one? Isn't that kind of what she says?
I didn't think she said.
I don't think she said except for.
They were all destroyed except at Aden.
Yeah,
that's what I thought
what she says.
Here, we're gonna find out.
What was at Akron even destroyed? Really?
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Why did she say it like that?
It wasn't just. I mean, it was messed up, and they were all at war, but it wasn't necessarily destroyed. Everything on the planet was destroyed. The planet itself wasn't.
She could have meant they.
You mean that one?
Yeah.
Except one.
Long ago, and they were all destroyed. Okay, yeah.
So this Smee story,
they were kept hidden. They were kept hidden on purpose, and they were all destroyed.
Yes.
Every pile of bones on the ship has a knife through it.
Right.
So Smee killed them all on the ship, or the captain did, and he was getting really eerie when Jod was looking at their bodies.
Right.
Investigating.
Do we think the next could still be alive on Aden?
That's my thought. But he would have had to survive the
crash and get off the ship, yeah.
And then get off the ship and assimilate into society. And it seems
right.
like that's
what society. If he's the governor, or like
that's what I'm saying. Or what if
Brennan,
because he was able to escape one of these planets and he knows how they work from the inside out, kind of.
Maybe
he said, "I'm gonna go take over one because they're all hidden."
Maybe,
I don't know.
It's possible.
I'm reaching far now.
But that's the thing. So it seems like the ship crashed, right? The ship didn't land, and then overgrowth, right? The ship crashed. Whatever happened,
it was there for a long time. Trees grew on top of it.
That's what I mean. It didn't land, and then somebody forgot about it.
So yeah, same time that downfall took place, and he destroyed coordinates, flew, crash landed.
Well, I mean, could that have been the time why the downfall happened? Because they made it to the.
Oh shoot!
But no, it can't, because he said he came across warriors the last time, so the planet would have been destroyed. The planet would have already been fucked up, and then they went there, found the coordinates, destroyed the coordinates, and then went to Aden. So this was the last leg of a treasure hunt before they got to Aden, right? So they found this place already. They found this place already fucked up. He got out of the craft and said, and saw warriors like that before. Now, whether they tore through them or they just bartered with them, we don't know. But as pirates, you think that they, as a group of pirates, because you figure there were at least 5 or 6,
right,
taking out a bunch of locals with little blasters. It probably wouldn't have been much of a fight. So did they tear through them, get to the governor's mansion, or get to the tower, get the coordinates? Everybody else dies except the captain.
If it is a supervisor, he already had Old Republic credits on hand too, in theory.
Right. So I mean, there's just a lot of missing pieces, but we're getting more information, and more things. That cannon shows me that was shot down. That ship was shot down when it came through the barrier.
By the school.
Because the barrier, it's illegal to come in or out of the barrier. So as soon as that ship crossed into the barrier, cannons up, ion cannon blow. That's why it's not destroyed. It was just decommissioned.
The other thing too is at Akron is completely destroyed, but the lock-in autopilot shit still works. That's now we know that's a thing that takes place on that Atten as well. It could have just locked him in and pulled him right to the school,
and then to get shot down.
And there's fully functional right now on that Atten.
Then you put 2 and 2 together. That was like the planet locking in the auto.
Yeah, it was the tower or whatever programming was still there. Yes, the defense barrier was gone, right? And the cannon wasn't auto anymore, right? Those people had control of the cannon. But before their fall, the supervisor would have had automated control of the cannon. As soon as something passes through the barrier, it gets locked in and brought in to get shot down. And Smee, the only reason he knows that he already knows how to disable the auto function. As soon as he was like, oh, they've taken over auto controls. Hold on, I'll take control back. Right. As soon as he got it. Right. So it leads me to this point to where he knew the defenses were down. He knew he could just land. He knew the army that they were facing, and George just bought his way by him instead of fighting his way through. Right.
I like what Wyatt put into the chat real quick too. He said that he heard someone say it was translated from Kim's computer that Aden was one of the destroyed planets. Doesn't know if it's true or not. I mean, that could be the case though. Like, what if Aden was thought to be one of the destroyed planets? Because it's like, everybody thinks it's, a fairy tale almost sort of thing, where Akron could be one of like the one surviving planet.
Yeah, her computer name dropped all kinds of other planets like Corellia, and I don't know, because the kids it was like that game Guess Who. The kids were like giving her clues, and the computer was eliminating her computer was eliminating the planets that didn't fit the description. But what's Corellia? Like, isn't that a high
mineral, you should make that your
mineral planet?
Corellia was the planet that had all the hyperspace fuel.
Wasn't it coaxium there too, though, or something?
Coaxium, the hyperspace fuel.
Yeah, so
make that your camera down picture.
All of these planets had similar like high value resources.
It's perfect.
Yeah. Anyway,
either that or the one where he's got his mouth open when they go into hyperspace.
Yeah, it just seems. Look, it seems like I love that this is a mystery. I love that this is fun. Nobody knows the answers because nobody's seen this story, and that's why we should be watching. I do look. I'm not going to pretend that I am, the beacon of. Oh, I don't know what to say. I'm just maybe I'm hard on content creators. Maybe I'm hard on people that don't like everything that Star Wars has to offer. But titling your streams and titling your videos, Star Wars sucks. This show sucks. Why are we watching? What's the point? This show is stupid and it has no bearing on what's current in Star Wars. That's
I
not
hear a lot of that these days.
And look, I get it. There's more clicks and negativity than positivity. I get it. Not everybody comes to streams like this where we talk about Star Wars in a positive way. I get it, right? But ultimately, this show could lead us to a way back for a couple of our heroes from an exile, right? If we're talking about hyperspace lanes, if we're talking about coaxium, if we're talking about Corellia, if this leads back to the High Republic era of hyperspace lanes between the Outer Rim and potentially other galaxies, this could have implications into Ahsoka season 2. This could have implications into a way to bring back our heroes that are stuck in Peridia, right? There are implications here. Now, we're not done. The show could have a second season.
Heck, it could have Thrawn figuring out some of these hyperspace routes or some of these planet stuff, because pirates are dealing with them more than anything right now.
Sure.
And if anybody's going to deal with pirates, it's probably going to be the dude coming back trying to take power.
And the witches are still with him that have all that ancient knowledge too.
Right. So there's a lot of implications still as
I really, not to interrupt you again, I really think that the third video game with Cal Kestis is going to be huge with lore, dude. Connecting a lot of shit before he comes into live action.
If he comes into live action.
They've basically said that they're trying to finish his video game story before they explore that, but they're definitely going to explore that.
If they do that, they better have him meet Jabba's kid.
I mean, it does.
Ezra's got a kid.
Jabba,
Kanan's kid, not Jabba.
We're talking about Rada, fam. Rada.
Oh.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, that news kind of annoyed the hell out of me.
Well, look, I mean, it's definitely
He got this like Emmy award, or should be winning Emmy award winning actors, and we're bringing him to do a voiceover for Stinky. What the fuck are we doing? I want him to be
we
like
also
Eli
don't know
Mantel.
what
That's
Stinky's
I'm
gonna
hoping
be.
for.
That's
And
like
then,
hiring Martha Stewart, and not hiring Viber instead of using Martha Stewart. I mean, it's just it's just one of those things, bro.
Bro, you went perfect to see Eli Mantel. That's all I'm saying.
That is correct.
Interesting.
Well, and so look, these
implications.
These kids on this journey might be the the stumbling across the treasure that they're seeking is home, but the treasure that we might get in the end of this is a lead into other shows. Just the murder mystery. I mean, it's so much fun. Everybody I talk to, everybody at the end of every Tuesday night this last month, it has been nothing but, man, that was fun. Man, that was fun. And yeah, I understand there's no lightsabers yet. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Well, there might have been one on that mural, but
I'm really sorry there's no lightsabers in the show yet. I'm sorry that there's no stormtroopers or Imperials running around. I'm sorry.
There's no Skywalkers.
There's no Skywalkers and no Mandalorians.
Somehow Palpatine's not going to return.
There's no Palpatine. I mean, by the end of this, we might see Vader. That seems to be the ongoing consensus of Vader's and everything. But I'm really sorry for those of you that think that is what Star Wars is. Because if all that Star Wars is lightsabers and pew-pews and droids and that feeling of Luke Skywalker, maybe I missed the bus, right? Maybe I don't know what real Star Wars is. But this feels pretty fucking awesome, if you ask me. This is fun. It's engaging for people of all ages. You don't have to overthink. And yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, Maximus. I know. I would call Kathleen Kennedy direct. Her number is 1-800-KK hate. Is the phone number. And if you just go ahead and call 1-800-HATES-KK, you'll get an answer right away and a reply. In fact, I just started that website 5 minutes ago. 1-800-HATES-KK. And she'll get right to you and answer all of your queries. And honestly, what would be awesome is to have a voice changer answering message on that phone number, right? With her voice saying, I'm sorry, please leave your complaints at the beep. And oh, dude, Oh, dude, I just came up with a great new short. Oh, shit. We're going to do that shit.
Do it.
Oh, we're going to do that shit.
Yeah.
I just came up with a great new short idea. That's going to be fantastic. I'm going to make that phone number. I'm going to try to buy one of those phone numbers and create a legit look. I'm looking it up right now.
1-800 KKK hate.
No.
Take it easy, buddy.
not
Take it
that.
easy.
No, not that one. Not
I'll
that
go down
one.
that road. You know.
No, I.
It's one-way street. I'm just saying.
It's got to be KK hate. Oh, KK hater. That's what it'll be. 1-800 KK hater. That'll be a good one. But anyway, all right. Let's jump out of here. That was a good episode. I had a lot of fun. Consensus. Let's go across the board. Who's up first? Final thoughts. Scotty, tee it up.
Yeah, okay. I'm got my final thoughts noted right here. I'm leaning in heavy to like High Republic Jedi tamperings. We've got words like the Great Works. The whole show starts out with pirates, hyperspace lanes, building them out was the focus of the High Republic. All video game references, moon observatory, another way to hide a planet. The goddamn math is mathing, chat, on the algorithms and all the things these kids are trying to calculate. Big money project outside of like a Death Star building. I mean, expanding your reach in the galaxy, probably the biggest project that there is. That's where I'm at, man. High Republic Jedi, something doesn't smell right.
Copy that. Lainey hasn't watched. She's only getting her Reader's Digest from us, so I will give you a pass, Lainey, until next time. And I expect you to do your homework, Lainey. Come on, you got a job now. You can do your homework.
How does Mara Jade fit in?
Yeah.
After hearing everything, I guess my what I said earlier about hearing so many positive things means I need to watch this now.
I mean, the Muggles
Wait,
Muggles are raving.
You haven't watched any of it? Did I miss this?
No,
you
I
did
have
miss
not.
that.
Yeah, you missed that.
She's been getting the
any
breakdowns
of it.
from us every week, dude.
And it's crazy because even like with how much y'all have kind of already gone through, I still feel like there's a lot more that I am missing out on.
Oh, you're definitely missing out on more, and then there's definitely
But
more we're
honestly,
missing out on still too.
What a good
We don't
place
even know
for-
what Republic it is.
Yeah, right. What a good
That's
place
my
for you to
final
be in, though,
thoughts.
because now that we're halfway through the season, if you want to do a 2-hour binge, you could sit, watch all 4 at one time, and then get caught up. Like, what a great place to be in, rather than having to wait
Right.
every week. So, you might. I mean, there's an aviary friend of mine that does it the same way. He really doesn't watch. I invited him anyway because I invite everybody anyway. Anybody that wants to come in on these nights is welcome to. But and all you guys in the chat, all you have to do is hit us up in the Discord. If you want to jump in, you're more than welcome to join in. But there's a lot of people that watch it that way and that will stay out of the mix until the end. I found it hard with this one just because I enjoyed Goonies. I enjoyed all the Indiana Joneses. I enjoyed all of the National Treasures. So for me, this show feels like a mystery. Who doesn't like a good mystery? Then it's got the Star Wars feel to it. Where sure there might be a guy that has the Force, but honestly, some of my favorite shows don't necessarily need the Force, right? I mean, up the Mandalorian the first season until we saw Grogu lift up a mudhorn, we really, didn't really have the Force in the beginning. It was just about the bounty hunting. So I dig it. I'm into it. Let's jump in. Give me more. Start a second season now so that we have it sooner is my only thought. Sheev, go ahead. Tee it up.
Cool. To be honest, I think this show is a whole hell of a lot of fun. I think the first half of the season so far has been a blast and a really cool way to introduce some new stuff to Star Wars that really does feel fresh and new, even though it is an existing timeline and everything. The one, if we want to get negative with it, the one gripe I have with the show is the whole Republic thing. Because what we're like, if we're calling ourselves the New Republic, that means every Republic before you has technically been the Old Republic. So when you say Old Republic, are we talking about Knights of the Old Republic, or are we talking about the prequel and High Republic era? Because right now, breaking it down, it's probably either the High Republic, just in terms of the age, or I mean, it'd be really cool if it is the old Republic that we all know, but that's my only gripe. Otherwise, this show is a whole hell of a lot of fun. I'm really excited for the second half of the season, and I'm loving the intrigue, the vibes of it, the Goonie and kind of I don't even know, just that whole aspect of the show and the fact that it's kid centric. It's just a lot of fun, and that's cool in Star Wars right now. It's just to have fun with it. I think that's my
Anybody go
final
to sleep?
thoughts.
Oh, we all get one shots. Okay.
Oh yeah, you all get everybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, you want a
So
one shot, you
when-
can get a one shot.
When we think about this seriously and honestly, Skeleton Crew, you know, it's a think piece about a mid-level band struggling with their own limitations and the harsh face of stardom. But no, it's
Was that an Almost Famous reference?
Yeah, I'm literally looking at the quote on my screen. I was waiting for the one shot.
Oh man, that's a heater right there. That's a callback, man. That's a good callback. That's a great
Did
quote.
AI just write that for you?
All right, that was fantastic.
No, it's a
No,
good show.
you-
It's honestly, I think it's my favorite Star Wars show so far.
That's a bold statement, Cotton. Let's see how
You
it
don't-
works out for him.
You don't need lightsabers. You just need a fun, interesting space adventure, and we got that. And I think you could argue you don't even really get that as much in Andor because you're so much just on a setting the whole time. This is like we're in space.
But yeah,
every
Andor is
single
real
episode.
shit.
Well, and Andor's got real,
Literally
like,
in real jail.
we know the stakes though, right? Like in Andor, we know the stakes because we know the outcome, right? We know where this character's going. We know we're just following along the journey, how he gets to where he is, being that heartless fucker at the end of or at the beginning of Rogue One, and then by the end, he's kind of back to the character we see in Andor, right? He's
Yeah.
hesitant to be that person, but at the end of it, he comes to grips and blah blah blah, becomes a good person. This is just a fun show that has, we don't know the stakes. That's I guess that's what, to me, that's the most fun.
Yeah, like I'm not knocking Andor, but this is fun. It's authentic and inventive. It feels more Star Wars to me than like anything else that they put out. It's its own unique story.
And great storytelling so far. I mean,
It's true.
the writers group, the
mid-level
storytelling, the directing, the
we want
quiet,
more.
the quiet. Honestly, the thing I'm enjoying the most right now is the quiet. Right? I don't know if you guys have been. No, I mean, I know that sounds stupid.
Oh, it's so nice.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the tweets and the YouTube videos
Once more, we shall
And-
have good Star Wars,
and
and there will be
And we
peace.
shall have
You just have to apologize
Um,
and then ask for it. You know,
so,
that's it.
but I haven't. Look, there's no
Right,
actor.
Neel.
There's no actors coming out and making ridiculous statements on social media. The director is not coming out and making ridiculous statements on social media.
Who's the director, by the way? Laney, do you know?
Well, directors are
See,
different.
that's a good job by the director. You
Well,
don't even know who it
sure.
is.
I didn't
Sure.
know who the director was
Showrunner.
for this show before it started, but at the end, after the first episode, I didn't know. I don't follow who directs what, because frankly, I could give a flying fuck.
But you haven't had to because they all shout it out and talk about it
Right.
nonstop and
Right.
take the story away.
Right, they all shouted out, but this is a John Watts production, and
He shut up while
doing
he was
this,
thinking Spider-Man.
doing the Spider-Man stuff. I didn't know. I love that all the homes, right? No Way Home, Far From Home.
He's my homes for real.
He's my home. I like that. I like Spider-Man, right? John has done a very good job, but you haven't heard him come out saying,
This is the best series you're ever gonna fucking see from Star Wars. You're gonna love it. Elephant Boy's gonna rock your socks. Let's fucking go.
right? He didn't say a word. All right. The actors haven't come out other than saying this is a lot of fun to make, haven't said a word. And that's the brilliance of what they're doing right now, right? Is they're staying silent. They're not providing clickbait material. They're not providing interview one-liners that can be thrown in spun in different ways. They're keeping them silent. They're letting the show do the work for them. And the hate is, I mean, let's just say the hate is always at a 5, right? Like when you go to the doctor and you're like, show me your pain on the chart. And it's like green face, smiley face is 0, and crying, sad, red face is 10. Star Wars is always the yellow face in the middle, right? Because it's always the amount of hate is right about half full. This show feels like it's just maybe 60% full. Like there's only an extra point on the scale right now. They just don't have anything to latch onto, right? Because what are you going to do? You're going to hate on a bunch of kids? Right? You're going to hate on a bunch of kids for their acting? Really? That's where we're back to?
Yeah, we've done that already.
We
don't
did.
need to do that.
I thought we did
don't
that
need to
shit
do that again.
with our young Anakin Skywalker friend. I thought we beat that horse to death. So they're not going to shit on the kids for their
But
acting.
these kids are actually doing better.
What are you gonna shit on Jude Law?
Wim is charismatic AF.
What woman doesn't love Jude Law?
And he's knowing his role too.
He
He's
is
not overtaking.
He
the
is
story.
a handsome, sexy
Chef's
motherfucker with
kiss.
an accent.
Chef's kiss.
Right? Yeah. Well, you gonna shit on Jude Law? You gonna
I
piss
love the holiday. Don't even start.
Thank you, right? That's right? Every woman says the same thing. Jude Law is great, right? They have no reason to shit on him. So what are you going to
Plus, he's playing Star Wars Jack Sparrow. So
you're going to piss your fucking girlfriend or wife off over here saying, oh, man, that guy's stupid. They're going to look at you and go, get out, right? So you're not going to shit on Jude Law. You're not going to shit on the kids. Everything else is super cool, right? I mean, the ship is super cool. Everything I've seen on the ship is super cool so far. The Pirate's Den was super cool. Even the 1984
Smee is sick as
super
frick.
cool, right? Why they didn't give him? He has he's a droid with a peg leg
and a pet mouse in his eyeball.
And a pet mouse in his eyeball, right? Like, I mean, everything in this show is super cool. So there's nothing for them to crap on other than.
Why are you watching this? As it is Star Wars.
That's the thing. It is Star Wars.
It is, and it's
feels
great.
Like Star Wars more than like anything else.
But it's
more
beautiful.
than anything else ever.
I think another thing that makes me interested in watching it is when you watch the trailer versus what's been described so far from y'all. It is not at all the same. Like what you watch in the trailer looks all fun and happy and just kind of like you're describing Goonies, and then what y'all described this whole time just sounds deep, dark, and just actual interest.
Yeah.
That's how they reeled in the parents, and then 20 seconds in, they murdered a whole bunch of people.
I mean, like they didn't. They didn't. The thing about that is that they didn't give anything away in the trailer. They didn't give away too much. Whereas when you go and see trailers nowadays, you feel like you've watched the entire
whole movie.
plot.
I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
You've
True or
described my
false?
number one thing with trailers. I hate watching trailers because you just give me the best scenes of the whole movie, and I've seen the whole movie.
Yeah.
Right. That's my least favorite thing. Yeah. The key, it is low key funny. The script is honestly, there's time when Neel fainted, I laughed. I was like, oh, he literally hit his emotional quota for the day, and he was like, oh, everybody's safe.
That's me. That's my
Right?
mood.
Right. And
Dude, the entire
it's-
interaction that the kids have when they first meet up, where it's like claimsies, and then he's like, "We don't work for them."
Yeah.
And like that felt so natural of a conversation that kids would have.
Right.
Like they
Well,
got
and
really
he-
good chemistry across the
And
board.
how he's like, look, when they get in the ship, I'm calling claimsies because they only called claimsies outside, and I'm claiming it inside. And he's like,
Perfect.
dude, and Neel
Genius,
is everybody.
he said.
You know, Neel is like, dude, fucking yeah, right? Like you just, he's so fun and relatable,
Mhm.
right? Like Neel is a
He's
great
him.
character, and honestly, I think he's probably the most well-written character I've seen in a really long time, right? Like he's funny, but then you see in this episode, he's kind of serious in the fact that he just doesn't like violence. Like he played the role of like Jedi or Sith.
Wait.
He played the Sith, right? He played the dark side when they were playing on the street. And I think he goes along with it because it was fun, but he doesn't really want to hurt nobody. Right? He doesn't want to get into any conflict. He's a peaceful. I mean, I look at elephants and I'm like, they don't want to trample me. They think I'm cute, right? and so that's kind of how I feel about Neel. Like, he doesn't want to hurt anybody. He just wants to, be nice and be friendly, and his kindness or his weakness makes him kind, right? Which I thought was probably the quote of the show so far, because
I think it's the fact that his name is Neel that makes it a dead giveaway. He's probably the nicest character.
right. It's like the nerdiest like kid in the corner that doesn't want to get rocks thrown at him name. Yeah, it's great. I mean, look, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Who doesn't love Neil deGrasse Tyson? Look at him. He's just like the big elephant boy. So,
Watch your mouth.
hey, he is like the nicest
He's not
man
wrong.
ever. Like, he
No,
is
no, he's
Neil.
talking about Elephant Boy. That's
He
rude.
is the Neil of the
Nothing
human.
slurs on Neil. Okay.
Neil deGrasse Tyson is probably
we-
the nicest human being I've ever encountered. So yeah, he is like Neil, our elephant boyfriend. Yeah. So everything we see in this show, I think, has been really fun. All of the interaction with even Smee is great, right? Yeah, when she grabbed him by the nose, yeah, I was like, oh, it's game over. Like, he's got her, right? That's like that girl that like grabs you by the hand and is like, we're gonna go do something, and you're like, oh, got her.
Or like
Neil,
any other whatever. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's adolescence, right? He was happy. So, but yeah, the show's loose. The show's fun. I'm looking forward to the tempo turning up. To be honest, I think the back nine of this show is going to be real action packed. I don't think we're going to get many more of these mellow episodes. I really think they're gonna. Yeah, he definitely got that number. I'll tell you about that. He definitely got them digits, girl.
So think
I'm not
cheese,
putting that one
okay?
up.
About a
Chibi,
mid-level
I'm not doing
man.
it. I'm not doing it. I refuse to put that one up. Don't you do it. Don't you do it either. I see you over there lurking. Don't you do it either. No, not you. I was talking to the man above you.
No, I know.
But yeah, I mean, the show's a lot of fun. I feel like it feels like I don't know if you guys watched Hook with Dustin Hoffman and Robin Williams. It's got that kind of feel to it also.
That's where the Smee came to me right away. I was
right
like,
away,
bro, this
right?
is Disney through and
And
through.
that's what I mean.
love
It's like, it's Goonies, it's Hook,
I
it's
can't. It's
the
SM
Lost Boys.
Y'all. Every time I'll hear Shmee.
It's me. I'm sorry, my lift is getting in the way.
No,
God.
it's just literally it's just
Schmeagle.
oh man, Shmee
Shmee.
Skywalker.
You know what it is because his name isn't Smee. It's Shmee in Hook, isn't it?
I think it is. Like, I think that's how
Yeah,
it
no,
goes.
I think so. But
in Hook, it's Shmee, and that's what I think of because I'm thinking of the first
I just
mate.
see SM33 though,
Yeah.
and then you guys say Shmee,
I
and
want to
I'm
know
like,
what
Skywalker?
I want to know what
Like,
Obsession would say then for K2SO.
K2SO. Queso. I call him queso.
Tuso.
Like cheese and queso. That's what
Queso.
I call queso. So okay, here we go. Neo wants
Ar-
to be end of the day
Artudito.
chill with his bubble bath and yeah. I mean that's what we all want.
Yo, the
right?
bubble
we're
bath.
we're going there. We're going there at the end of the stream. I'm not getting any watch ad revenue anyway over here, so it doesn't matter what we do. I get no watch ad revenue.
I think 11
No,
minutes in
dude.
and stop paying attention to it.
No, I'm always paying attention to chat. It's just I don't always put up what you shenanigans put out there. Sometimes this dude will put it up there. Sometimes he'll be like, "Oh, I'll put that up." Click. Yeah. So Smee, I mean, this whole thing has that vibe of every fun show I watched in the '90s or every fun movie I watched in the '90s. This show seems to have that same kind of vibe, and that's what I think it makes it more fun than probably any show we've gone through in quite a while, because everything has everything else. Here's the thing: every other show has huge stakes, right? Kenobi could have fucked up the timeline, right? Boba Fett, nobody. I'm not saying it did. I'm saying what the
I know, I'm
implications of the
kidding, I'm
show were,
kidding.
right? Boba Fett could have, Boba Fett was what it was, right? Kenobi could have fucked up the timeline. Andor could mess up the prequels era stuff, so to speak, right? The early Empire. There's all these stakes. There's all these high pressure stakes for all of these shows that we have. But then we get to this show and it's nothing but fun. There's no pressure, right? To be something it has to be. It just gets to be fun. And I
Hell
think
yeah.
that's what's making it so inviting right now. That's just me. I just feel like this is what Star Wars felt like when I was a kid. I guess that's how I feel. This is how Star Wars felt when I was a kid. I was excited. It was fun. It didn't have pressure, expectation, or negative videos. It just was fun, right? And so, yeah, I mean, with Maximus, I think we're all in the same place. We've been here a while. That's why I wanted to go early, because I knew these go long. I invited a bunch of extra people, so I was hoping some other people. Lainey came and joined us, so I'm glad to see you got got the cobwebs off the streaming gear, and were able to come and hang out with us. I don't know if you guys know, but I post our notifications in everybody's Discord, and I bomb Laney's when we do stuff. Right? I literally go in every Discord, and I'm like the only person posting something in there, but I don't care. I post it every time because I'm like, she gonna show up one of these days, and today's the day we got early Christmas present. We got an early Christmas miracle. We are going to be back Tuesday. Next week is Christmas, right? Christmas is literally right around the corner.
Christmas Eve special.
Yes, and we are going to do it. We are going to be here on Tuesday night. So,
I'm looking more pale than Sheev this time. Do it.
That's hard to do.
He's looking super hot today, is what it is. He's got his camera light is like, wow. Look a little hot.
I think it's like the screen more than anything.
Do you use dark mode? Because that's what my screen does. It's so white, it washes me out. That's why I started using dark mode.
Clutch.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Thank you. As always, my partner in crime, Hawks Holocron, is always coming up and hanging out. Lainey, thank you for gracing us with your presence and coming and slumming with us down here in the bowels, in the basement of YouTube. As always, Sheev, I will probably see you at some point sooner than later, so I don't have to say goodbye to you. And our other East Coast buddy, we'll see you soon. Anybody got anything coming up? Let's plug on our way out. Scotty, what are you doing? You doing GTA? Are we back?
Yeah, mine's quick. So
we're on Dwarves.
Yeah, so my channel is just Scotty Hawk. You can search that on YouTube if you're not over there yet. I have streamed every day this week. Lord of the Rings Return to Moria. Really fun lore from Lord of the Rings. Like, honestly, it's better than that Rings of Power stuff that Amazon put out. So come watch. But basically, it's reclaiming the mountain. It's a alternate history. We're following the Fellowship, and it's Gimli. It's an aged Gimli who's took us there. I'm trying to beat that this week because my GTA city dropped a brand new trailer, which is at the beginning of day one of the Moria streams, if you want to check that out. But they're calling it their 1.0. So we're getting housing, boosting, drugs, like you name it, the city's going to have it now. So before we were really just running around doing freelancing jobs, but now we're like getting into like full blown. It's a wipe. So cars, money, everything. I have my name. That's it. So that's going to start on the 19th or 20th. Notifications are key.
All right. Thank you. Lainey, are you doing anything right now, or are you just working?
Mostly just working, but I've been gaming a bunch. So I've been playing the new Marvel Rivals game that's come out.
Good game. I think
it's
everybody
so
has it.
Fun.
I have
so
that
if y'all ever want to, add me.
Hit me up with your handle on whatever you're playing on, so that we can, because we do want to get some squads together and do some of that, because that seems to be the new hotness. So
I've really liked it. I think it's better
Overwatch
than
killer?
Overwatch.
Okay.
I think it's better because I think they brought a lot of features in immediately that Overwatch didn't offer, like the crossplay and stuff. Not to mention the game is free.
How is it compared to Hunters? Even though Hunters isn't on platforms yet, other than now it's a beta for PC. So if anybody has a PC, you can do Hunters PC beta.
Right.
But I don't know how the comparison is. But I want to see. I haven't played Rivals yet. So.
It's obviously better because it's on the 5G platforms, right? It's on the next gen platform, so it's automatically getting a bump, right? If Hunters would have come out on the
if your experiences with the phone are I get
exactly
that.
Automatically.
Actually, pretty interested to see what Hunters plays like on PC. So
supposedly it's been pretty good. It's a lot more crisp from what I understand. So
cool.
So yeah, I would definitely try to get down on some Hunters. But yeah, Rivals is out. Everybody's playing. Hit us in the Discord with your username and everything, Lainey, so we can add to the group, because I know Scotty wants to get down on some of that with some.
It's
with
epic,
some
right? I
teams.
should have it.
Yeah, it's epic. Sheev, what do you got going on? What are you doing? Just
So-
pre-show for?
Yeah, mainly pre-shows and pre-show, and then I watch it. So it's a watch party essentially for all the Skeleton Crew episodes right now. And then we've been doing a few of the what's that game called? I haven't played it enough lately. Clearly,
Outlaws?
Star Wars Outlaws. Yeah, I've been doing a little bit of Outlaws again. I'm trying to get back into it. I did like a 3-hour stream the other day.
It's tough,
and
man.
then,
It's like clocking into work,
it's a
man.
grind.
It's
really
a grind.
is.
It really is
I-
like
I will
clocking
say-
into work.
Since they took away that feature where if you get caught, you have to restart from the checkpoint, it makes the grind a little bit more easier and
Well,
manageable.
you know what?
But
It kind of reminds me. It's the same thing that they did with Hogwarts Legacy. You gotta clock in when you're playing those games. It's not let me go do 30 minutes with my buddies. No. It's you got to clock in and put in 2 hours of work minimum to make any kind of headway in those games. And that's the problem I have with it. I haven't finished it because I just can't clock in. I can't get in that zone to clock in for 3-4 hours.
it's hard. Yeah, no, I'm
It's a
I'm trying
grind.
to
And
though.
Scotty's different because he's GTAing. He's like creating his own Parzival in the metaverse, right? He is literally on the precipice of
Voice
the
acting.
Oasis, right? So he's out there doing a totally different thing. But to clock in on a story base for 3 hours, it's a grind, man.
It
And
is.
so
Me
I'm
with
just having
Fallout.
yeah. Oh yeah, same.
I have,
It's just
I have the
it's
same
clocking
issue
in.
with God of War too, even though I love it.
Weekends are my time to play Fallout, and that's about it.
and it's tough because you have to dedicate time, and I just don't have the time to do it. Mafia, what do you got going on? You doing any more movie reviews? I think that's the last thing I saw you do recently. Came out of a-
movies worth reviewing.
Mm.
I don't know what's out.
I just keep getting pissed off every time I leave the theater.
Yeah, but doesn't that create good content?
Sometimes, but car accidents too.
Just
But let
pretend
me
you
get-
drove
let me
to
get
the
that-
movie.
Let me get that one shot again.
Oh, you
I feel
want
like there
you
hasn't
want-
been that
you
bad
want
of
it? Take
movies
it.
this year.
Ho 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 ho! You know, there's only 8 days until Christmas. Oh shit!
Oh, you doing you doing Star Wars Santa? Yeah. Oh man, I love Santa.
I think it's 7.
It's funny. I got a gift from Santa in the mail from like 3 years ago. It somehow found its way to me after X amount of years.
It just
so-
got to you.
How'd you get on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
list?
Yeah, it was.
How'd you-
I put
how'd you
his
get on the
picture
list?
up
Oh,
there.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the picture with the stickers, and
Heck yeah.
the Star Wars Santa stickers. So, yeah, I was definitely on the good list apparently that year, but haven't been on the good list since then. So I don't know, but yeah, so we are going to be here on Christmas Eve. We will be here probably at the same time. I'm thinking everybody should be off of work. Everybody should. I mean, minus us that go to work. Am I working on that day?
I'll say you better check.
Better check. Let's check the schedule real quick. Hold on.
Christmas Eve?
Oh, dude, I'll probably work Christmas Day if it's.
Yeah, if they need him. If
Yeah,
there's
man,
work.
I work my birthday. I work Christmas. I work every holiday. All right, let's see. No, 23rd and 27th. So we're off Christmas Eve and Christmas Day this year.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will be here Christmas Eve. We are going to do the same time, 4 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock, or I'm sorry, 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern. That way everybody has time to wrap their kids' presents and hide their kids. Who's in the lead?
He just got twisted because Santa actually did my prediction and didn't give me the 5-pointer for it. And I actually texted him after. I was like, dude, I actually screened this question with you to see if it would be a 5-pointer. He said yes. He's
Checkmate.
Like, I owe you 4 points.
Checkmate. Owe some 4 points. You better go
So
check that
you
leaderboard
will-
again, Steve.
you
You
will
better
see
get
it.
over there and check
Look
that
at
board
that,
again.
man.
You better go look to see who's in the top 5, Steve.
Yeah.
You
What
better
up?
get off me, Steve.
That 5-pointer, okay?
All right,
My ass
everybody.
off for that.
Have a good night. We're going to go chop it up in the background since we're early. Everybody have a good night. As always, don't forget, get out, spay and neuter your pets, help control the pet population. Don't forget to tell the people in your life today, not yesterday, not tomorrow, today how you feel. If you love them, you love them. Tell them you love them. If you hate them, you hate them. Tell them you hate them. Whatever it is, get it done today because tomorrow you don't know. It's not a guarantee. That's why today is called the present because it is a gift. So please make sure, be good to the people around you. Try to stay positive, especially with Star Wars, and have a great time. May the Force be with you guys. Have a great night.